worst part can be an unpredictable city. Affluency doesn't mitigate its problems. In some ways, it amplifies them. This is why we're deployed. But we've seen better days.
Then why are we just now debriefing?
This mission is not complete.
I only know of her. Our lack of data collection is a problem.
Valdez, I'm aware of your investigative talents. Braxwell spoke highly of you, and that's why you're on this team. Local law enforcement handles itself very well. But there are those with abilities. Some believe themselves to be good. Others don't even attempt to act as if they are. Either way, we're involved. Not everyone will agree with our status. But that can be said for anything. May I remind you both, we're Alphacore, and failure is not what we do.
Hi everyone, welcome to a very special Rip and the Silverback. The campaign for Alphacore might be over, however, the pinned link at the top of the chat will take you directly to the store where you can still make purchases of the comic itself. You just won't get all those wonderful, wonderful special things that you get with the pre-order campaign. So we're going to go into some Alphacore spoiler discussions today.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I got theories. I got thoughts. And we're also going to have a quick chat about a couple of other comic-related bits of information. Be interesting to see what the panel think about that. So without further ado, let's introduce everybody. I, of course, am the Silverback. Next to me is the Rip. How you doing, Eric July?
I'm doing good, man. What's up? What's up? I'm feeling good. We had a great campaign. Good to see the team here as well. You know, I love this time of the week, man. This is always fun. But yeah, man, I'm feeling good. Just got through working out. Feeling great. Feeling great. Can't complain.
Good. He's called NDA Andrew. He keeps the women in line who want to tell things. And by the way, Andrew,
man, I'm not very good at that at all.
I just want to say, every theory or thought I'm going to throw out, I'm immediately going to look at the Soskers' faces because they ain't got no poker game. No
Chat,
poker
I'm
game.
going to need y'all to spam the chat with NDA when that happens.
I'm going to have to set up emoji just for that. Andrew, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, guys. Thanks so much for having us here. This is going to be a great show. I know it.
Oh, you better believe it. Speaking of the Soskers, the Alphacore campaign is over, but shortly the Yaira campaign will begin. And they, of course, are the writers of Yaira. How you doing, ladies?
We are doing rad. Thank you for having us, Rip and the Silverback.
Just to confirm, we're only spoiling Alphacore, not like Yaira Ace.
Yeah.
No,
That's
everything.
about the IRA.
Don't listen to ass over here.
No, not a word.
Everything.
Not a word.
It's a Rippaverse spoiler show today.
Not quite. Not quite.
So I can't even say you don't even go here because this is your freaking channel.
Yeah, I can kick myself. Don't worry about it.
All right, now it's just the show and not
Hi.
the
Thank you for joining us, ladies. And we have the letterer of Alphacore, Eric Weathers. Eric, how you doing? You're on mute, just to let you know.
I thought I hit that mute button off, but thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem at all. Eric's got kids. He's got kids. He got a wife and 5 kids to feed. So he might have to jump out at some point, but we'll grab you for as long as we can. So with all of that said, before we go into the Alphacore spoilers itself, I got things, which is really going to be difficult considering I haven't read the book.
Yeah, exactly.
Who has? I just want to say that tomorrow is...
You muted.
He muted himself.
You just muted yourself, ass? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
All right, well, I'll take over here. This is now the Rip show.
All right.
He will at some point be back.
Yeah, hold on.
There
Yeah,
it is.
hi. Okay, it wasn't me that did that. Do you know who? I'll show you who it was. It was the Silverback.
Oh.
It was the Silverback. I had a birthday present. It's my birthday tomorrow. I had a birthday present arrive today, but it came in a clear bag, so I could just see what it was.
Yeah.
And I knew exactly who sent it, Mr. Porkchop. So I called up Mr. Porkchop and I said, dude, it was in a clear bag, so I had to get it out. So yeah, we now have an official Silverback.
I love it.
On the channel. There you go. You can stay there. You can stay there, sunshine. A couple of bits of comic book news, which I'd love to get your guys' opinions on.
Let's do it.
This is for everybody, but I'll just Eric first because a couple of weeks back, we were having a little talk about a gentleman called Mark Wade. Mark Wade, who said he would love to say, I would burn the comic book industry down before I gave it to those alt-right Yahtzee people who want to make good books and not turn everybody gay type of business. And we had a discussion about exactly how you're going to do that. Exactly what power do you have in the industry to do that, apart from none? Shazam's getting a whole new creative team, which means Mark Wade's off the book.
Oh, no.
That's unfortunate, huh? That's
So-
I mean, that only means one thing. We all know why that is the case.
Too good.
Historically speaking, you get taken off. Well, let's say this: when they changed an entire creative team, the sales were doing something, and they were trending in probably the wrong direction and fast. It had to been at an especially kind of accelerated rate, where they were like, "Okay, this isn't working. Scratch the whole thing. Let's give it another shot." So, shout out Mark Wade. Unfortunate situation. Shout out. I don't know what else. They'll end up probably putting them on something. Inevitably, but yeah, that's that. When you get
Alan Scott,
right after Tim Sheridan's
successful run.
Yeah.
Once that creative team needs to get changed, Mark Wade he'll take over
now.
for Alan Scott, and will for sure get royalties to aid stigma for Elton John.
For Elton John to stop talking about AIDS in a bad way.
AIDS.
Yeah,
That will for sure.
Stop stigmatizing it. Come on now.
Stop stigmatizing AIDS. Maybe Mark Wade can actually make it profitable to where royalties can actually be given, so that we can get that goddamn Elton John man to stop with this stigmatizing. But yeah, that's intriguing. Seriously, that's a story. But yeah, once they just for people that are kind of on the outside looking in, when they change an entire creative team like that again, I don't know what this. I haven't been keeping up with it. Like I haven't looked on like ICV2 and see some of the numbers it is that they're reporting. I have no idea where Shazam is in the top 50. It might not be there at all, and that would signify okay, yeah, they need to switch it up. try to make a little money here. But who knows, man? We talked about this. I can't remember if it was last show or the week before, where we talked about like, boy, would I love to see those numbers for the publication, like the publication side.
Mm-hmm.
If they are, I mean, you can make the argument if they ever made money, but especially now, like, yeah, they're attached to Discovery and Disney, but we don't know the numbers. Like as far as the publications, as far as if they're profitable or not, I would love to. They're not going to ever show me, but I would love to know if it's at all profitable, or is it just perpetually operating in the red?
I'm looking at December's the top 50 books on ICB2 right now, and Shazam is not on.
Shazam's not on there. I would be absolutely amazed, legitimately amazed if it was, and I don't mean that in a sarcastic way, but I'd be surprised if anything other than a Bat book was in there.
Well, funny you should say that.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Spider-Man. It'd be Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, and then some other.
You can add
stuff.
Another 50 on top of that, and I don't think you'd get to a Shazam or anything else. Eric, let me just grab you for a second then. A creative team completely changing over, numbers not being given by the mainstream, and them claiming time and time again that comics are thriving. That is a quote. Comics are thriving. If they're thriving, why aren't they given the numbers?
Well, because they're not thriving.
Sorry, I meant Eric. I meant Weathers.
Oh, Weathers?
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to call you Weathers in July.
I'm the demon today, like that. So you refer
Weathers
to
in July is going to be a buddy cop.
That's Eric
book.
W. That's Eric B.
Eric W is for winning.
Yeah, the W is for winning. I like it.
For winning. I mean, that's what it is, right? If for years we had the numbers, we don't anymore. Like, why? That's the question. I honestly, I think we should maybe send Mark Waid a black wreath. He likes to send other creators black wreaths. Maybe we should send him a black wreath.
Maybe we'll do a beg seg on Mark Waid next week.
Oh shit!
Great. We'll do a GoFundMe. Hey Mark, get in touch. We'll get you on the show. Get your GoFundMe details, and we'll raise you £2.50 in a packet of Allbrand. How about that?
But yeah, I mean, ultimately, they're hiding. They don't want people to know how good they're doing. That must be what it is. We're doing so good.
Yeah. They don't want to embarrass the Rippaverse, right?
Yeah, exactly. They wouldn't want to do that. So I appreciate the courtesy.
It's for mercy.
Yeah.
I appreciate Soska ladies. It's always a good thing when a new book, changes its creative team from top to bottom with only about 12 issues in, signifying great things. What would you do if you're on a book after 12 issues and you were told to step aside for a whole new creative team?
Oh, you mean like with Black Widow?
I think we relaunched Black Widow twice to try and get our stink off of it. It's kind of like when you're doing a 3-picture franchise and then picture 2 you leave, the director, and everyone leaves. Kind of like what's happening with Scream, like the entire cast and director and everyone is gone.
Or Exorcist, they just lost their you know it's a really good sign. Like I'm sure all those companies are like, ooh, money's coming right now.
Yeah, man. Rolling in dough, baby.
We work. I don't want to make anyone feel bad, but we work with a company that might have gone really in one direction over the past 4 years, and they lost so much money.
Wow.
And I remember having a meeting with them even like a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about something, and Jenna I went, ooh, I don't know, that might be woke. And they went, oh shit, no, we can't do that anymore. No. And I was like, oh. So it feels like some people who are like, I like money and employing people and keeping this business going. A few people are like, maybe we should do what the audience wants. I don't know.
Funny how that works, huh?
I don't think people want to be lectured anymore. Like there were always social issues in everything, except the creatives before knew how to weave a metaphor.
Yes.
Now it just gets to that point where it's like, oh shit, here's the 10 minutes where the lead character, sometimes even like a murderer, like in You. Oh my God, when that guy started to tell people about how they should get vaccinated, I'm like, aren't you a guy who stalks women and like jerks off outside their place?
Why am I taking more lessons from you,
Who are you?
They never proved those allegations against me, so...
Acquitted.
I love it.
Winning. Okay.
I love it.
Andrew has provided us with some numbers. Let's have a little look, shall we? So we got Amazing Spoderman at the top. So we get these a bit bigger, ladies. Batman 140, Transformers. Now this is the only mainstream comic I'm currently purchasing. I am actually buying this. I've got the first 4 issues of that. X-Men, Batman, Moon Knight, Spider-Gwen, Justice League, Batman, Daredevil, Mortal Thor, Venom, Predator, Miles Morales, Duke.
That's
what
number,
G.I. Joe.
Oh, 15th?
15th,
Okay.
yeah. Do you know who's number 1? Peter Parker.
So Spider-Man.
Yeah. And he's also number 4 as well. Gwen is number 8. Miles is 50.
That's probably more surprising than Miles.
Yeah.
Being
it's number 1, of course.
Number 1. Okay.
Number 1.
There we
That'll
go.
do it.
Yeah.
There's always something.
It's always the number 1.
Yeah. Has to be.
Gotcha.
G.I. Joe with Duke. I might give that a little crack as well. Avengers, Batman, Wonder Woman, Incredible Hulk, Detective. Again, Batman.
It's quite literally.
Yeah. It's just the same. Batman, Superman, Justice League,
X-Men.
pretty much.
It's the same shit. Bat Family. Poison Ivy being there may be a little surprising.
39, yeah, but I would say when you're down at 39 in the top 50 nowadays, what does that actually mean in numbers?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
I would say you're in your teens now.
By then, but you're below 10,000 probably.
Yeah.
I would say that. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say that.
Jesus, it pains me to see Dick Grayson down there.
Yeah.
He should not be down there.
The current Nightwing. Do we know? I wonder who's writing that.
All that I saw was homoerotic covers.
That's
all I saw.
I did see those.
This is Dick Grayson. Oh, did you see the latest thing where he was interacting with Jonathan Kent? Jonathan Kent was talking about being gay. What a surprise!
You want to hear the biggest surprise of why it all seems so super gay right now? Guess who's writing?
Who for? For Nightwing?
Nightwing.
Oh God! Don't say Stina Grace for Christ's sake.
No, Tom Taylor.
Of course. That's why it's rock bottom. Gotcha. Makes a lot of sense now.
Of course, it's Tom Taylor.
Tom said, "Hey, why didn't I make Dick like Dick?" Himself, because he's got some esteem problems at the moment. That's why.
Yeah,
it's on brand.
That's not fair. Nightwing has always been about bondage. He was the most tied up on his own cover next to Wonder Woman, and that is his fetish. It's not fair.
It's not
What
fair.
about the bondage people? This isn't very inclusive.
Wow. But he told Dick Grayson, by the way, who is one of DC's biggest crush pussies, told Jonathan Kent that, have you looked at me? I look so good. I'm probably a bit queer.
I really hope you're lying to me right now.
No, I am not lying to you. Andrew, if you'd be so kind to try and find that panel.
I swear to God, man.
Oh my God in heaven.
We need to put, if that happened, I need to find a panel. I just want to see the panel. I want to see the whole book. I just want to see that one panel.
That's all it is. Just this one panel where Connor's just walking Jonathan's just walking around, obviously going, "Hi, my whole character is gay. That is all I am now, and all I will ever be." Tom Taylor, 2023 onwards.
And for those that don't know, Tom Taylor's the reason why you got gay Superman. So it wouldn't be surprising at all if Nightwing trends in that direction as well on some I doubt they. Well, then again, I can't even say are you bisexual now. It's just gay. Like everything's just. That's all you end up becoming once
bisexual means gay.
Yeah,
because they'll never go back to a woman.
Yeah, he'll always be that. That's it, and nothing more. Unfortunately, that is that is surprising. That is very, very surprising.
Well, this brings us on to the next topic of conversation. Rob Liefeld, who said that he's been talking with people in the industry, by the way, who have turned down jobs at DC, where they've been offered work on a complete and utter reboot of DC, a type of Ultimates universe, which essentially, if it takes off, where everything gets normalized again, that will most probably supersede the current continuity and become the new norm. So it looks like DC are possibly toying with the idea of making good comics again. Scott Snyder's been approached to come back. Other creators have been approached to come back, big names. And he says, they're looking to make a difference. So is Marvel. And apparently Marvel is further down the line.
Wow.
Trying to course correct. And DC are in the early stages of copying Marvel's homework.
Well, that seems to be that's been the case for the last 10 years.
I'm sort of I'll believe it when I see it corner, but let's go around the horn.
How long does that happen though? Or work? Like, let's assume they did that. We already saw that 2016.
Well, Dawn of DC's been a disaster, absolute disaster.
Yeah.
Dawn of what? Dawn of more gay characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've already seen that, right? 2016. We saw going into the Rebirth era, right? That was the whole thing.
That started off well, though.
Yeah,
Rebirth
they were
really
over
good.
Marvel.
That's what I'm saying, though. So even let's assume that they do that. Let's assume that they do get they try to course correct. How long does that last? You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's because we with DC at least we saw them course correct, and it worked for. It didn't work. It wasn't that long, but it was a period of time where they were basically firing on all cylinders until we started seeing Bendis was coming, and then something started
all over Superman's face.
Yeah, and then we started to see some problems arise, right? But we've seen that, man. We've already seen them do that. But I don't know. I mean, is it an act of desperation? Perhaps Warner is not making any money. They are in a lot of debt, like a significant amount of debt. And I do believe if they were ever to crawl themselves out of that hole, it would have to be utilizing some of these massive properties like a DC, right? To get them out of it. Now, I don't think the publications will ever be profitable enough for them to do that. But I mean, I'd imagine they absolutely have to correct, and DC would be and DC would be at the forefront of it. I don't know what internal conversations that they're having, though. I mean, it's like, let's assume that they do reboot the whole shit. Are they rebooting it to fix it, though? Like, and is that a confirmation? You see what I'm saying?
Soskers, can they course correct? Can the mainstream? Yeah. Okay, tell me how.
Well, they have Joker 2 coming out and Deadpool 3. If those movies make money, they're going to try and change the comics to whatever's making money. I only know from our point of view of going out for these movies and these TV shows. And at that point, they said the comics didn't mean anything. They just used it to lift up the IP for the movies because the movies make so much insane money. I think they're being really safe. They're taking Joker was amazing for them. Like, Joker changed everything. It even changed how we're looking at superhero movies being made. And with Lady Gaga, it's probably going to be insane. And it's also going to be kind of like Legion because it's a musical about two people who have gone insane. That could be really, really good. And then I don't know what's going to happen with Deadpool 3, but obviously if you look around my apartment, I'm the biggest Deadpool stan. Yep. I'm there at the very beginning screaming Deadpool 4, Selska Sisters. I
didn't know Deadpool was into bouquets of flowers.
Oh, you like those? That's from a suitor. Don't worry about it.
Which Deadpool movie is that from?
It's behind the flowers.
Oh, gotcha.
Shut up.
I'll also say that despite what's been done to us, it really has been like a Serbian film. Go look that up.
Oh no.
But it's been like that to be a fan. It's been
look it up. Look it up. You're gonna fool me. Don't do it. It's a trap. It's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a good movie if you still want to feel something extreme.
Don't watch it.
Anyways, watch that and know that's how I think it has been like to be treated like a fan. Yeah. And there's so many characters I've watched get a horrible like film adaptation or a horrible new series. And there's been so much horrible that I'm like, do I even like these characters anymore?
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, if someone said, hey, we're going to be doing a Chris Claremont TV series for X-Men, I'd probably start crying. Yeah. I remember when I saw a tweet that said Tobey Maguire was going to be in whatever fucking Spider-Man movie that was. And it was a tweet. It was no confirmation. And I bawled my eyes out to the point I couldn't even speak to Sylvia. I just had to Like, if there is still faith, we still believe. I mean, we are the true believers. I think that if they just were like, let's stop telling the fans what they like and start listening to what they want.
Yeah, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, this used to be about a
No, but it's a no-brainer. But
yeah,
I can't believe that's not in development right now. You want to make
Right?
money? I can't believe that's not in development. Eric, as somebody who letters, you sort of a little bit off the like writing artist peripheral. However, if DC or Marvel, just say a mainstream approach, you said we're revamping our whole line. We're actually trying to get things on course again. As a creative yourself, how do you approach that? What questions do you ask them, or do you care? As long as there's a paycheck.
Well, that's a good question. I would like to see them course correct. They lost me years ago. I haven't purchased. I've seen the movies. You talk about comics. I haven't purchased a comic book from the mainstream in almost 10 years. I've been buying indie for a very long time. So, I'd be happy to. I grew up on this stuff. I grew up watching the cartoons and reading the comics. So being able to be a part of something like that would be cool. But I don't want to be a part of what it is currently. So if it's rebooted and they got rid of that, all the stuff we've been dealing with these past several years, I mean, sure, I'm willing to be I would be willing to be a part of that course correction. But it's you gotta prove it to me first. Like, let's see what we're doing. Let's see what we're working with now.
Sure.
So,
and I'll give this one to Andrew as opposed to Eric. The mainstream industry changes course, Andrew, and it says we just want to make great comics for people. How big or how much does that elevate the Rippaverse?
Well, this is actually a question I've talked about with some of my friends and other streams that I've been on, and I think it would be one of those true testing points, because it's one thing to kick your enemies and your competition while they're already down, and it's another thing to stand amongst them when they're actually at their best, right? So how do we do? Because we have the talent here, right? We've got the Saskas, we've got Chuck, we've got Mike, we've got Eric, who's getting better and better with every issue. Isom 3 is fantastic, and Cliff has rocked it on the art, right?
Yeah,
so instead of it being like, instead of our fan base and just comic book readers in general being like, yeah, I'm only into the Rippaverse because you could have that. People could try and have that excuse, right? You're only into the Rippaverse, or you're only into indies because DC and Marvel suck so bad right now. But I think it's more meaningful for them to say, yeah, Batman's good again, Spider-Man's good again, Green Lantern's good again, but I'm still buying Rippaverse books. I'm still there every single month getting whatever the new book is, whether it's another Isom, Alphacore, Yaira, Redacted, whatever the book is.
Wait, just say that again. Sorry.
Redacted.
After Alpha Gooding, sorry. No, okay.
Redacted. You tried. I'm pretty decent at this part. But that would be more cool to me, for people to be like, I'm loving and enjoying these characters that I grew up with, because we're all fans, right? That's why we're all here. That's why we've been bitching about these things for so long now, because we grew up loving Batman. We loved Spider-Man. My first superhero was the Flash, and we were talking about Mark Waid earlier. My first Flash book, my first comic book in general, was Flash Zero, beginning of tomorrow, right after 0 Hour Crisis in Time. He used to be a fantastic writer. I still say that he had the best Flash run, but he's a piece of shit human being, unfortunately. And he's an ideologue, and it drives me nuts when I found out about that. So
I don't think he's an ideologue. I think he's a fake ass bitch, but I don't think he's an ideologue.
Might be that too, yeah. But I would love for people to say,
which way is the wind? Which way is that wind?
You might not be wrong there. You might not be wrong. You might not be wrong. But I would love for people to be able to, like, I am loving Batman again, and I'm loving Alphacore, and I'm loving Isom, I'm loving Yaira, I'm loving all of these other books that we've got in the works, the reverse, that you aren't going to hear about yet.
Which one's your favorite, Andrew?
Which one are your favorite? The books which haven't come out yet. Which one's your favorite?
Yeah.
Oh, the ones that we haven't announced. Well, that's easy. It's Redacted.
I'm like Bane, mate. I will break you.
You will try.
I must break you. I think a rising tide lifts all ships. I think if the mainstream industry starts to pull its finger out, because right now it's a free ride for the Rippaverse. I think if the mainstream industry pulls its finger out, it's only going to cause the Rippaverse to go, right. We need to keep the level of quality going. We need to see how we can push books maybe even quicker, bring new talent in, get competitive in the marketplace in terms of pricing, see if we can snag a couple of people, tie a couple of people down for a little bit. I think it'd be good. I think it'd be a good thing. But
I like
right
the
now
idea of competition in a free market.
Yeah.
you know?
It's I hate it when the Rippaverse has to punch down.
Yeah, I mean, look, that all sounds great, and I appreciate everybody's optimism. That shit's never going to happen, and I'm going to tell you why it's never going to happen, because they don't have the economic setup to pivot. Period. It's not designed to be that way. So when you have this uber mega corporate setup, right, they have to go with a certain route, and they can't really veer away from that. And as we know, with these mega corporations, we know the level of infiltration that these, wherever the wind blows, or the ideologues that are a part of these projects, those guys aren't going anywhere. That's just the bottom line. And they worked very hard to get in the position that they're in right now. So they're not going to deviate from that. And I just don't see that happen. Anything is going to be just relative. It's going to be short-lived gains. Is going to be one of those things that, hey, it's a bait and switch. We're going to produce this thing that a lot of people like, and then we're going to go right back to doing the same dumb shit it was that we were doing. So I can see them doing that. But as far as like actually correcting course, that will require them to do a lot of stuff that I don't think that they're prepared to do. So until Chuck Dixon's fucking phone rings about writing Batman, then I'll start to believe that these guys are really on some shit. That ain't happening. What they will do is maybe self-censor and try to be as safe as they possibly can for a short period of time to get people tricked into believing that, yeah, we're gonna do some okay things. This is the best case scenario with these two fucking companies. Disney sells it to someone that gives a shit. Discovery sells it to someone that gives a shit. And the person that actually owns it, the person that signs the check, whoever that is actually someone that's into this industry, tapped all the way in. They don't need to know every character, but they need to understand the industry, and they need to understand the fundamental characters it is that they do have, and who they are and what they're about, so they can set the tone to make that part of the company profitable. That is not going to happen. So would that be maybe awesome just from a childhood perspective? Oh yeah, absolutely. But in the same respects, I would never get my hopes up, and I'm actually under the expectation that it's going to get a lot fucking worse before it ever gets better, because the same people that owned it 10 years ago are the same people that own it that own it right now. Until that changes, it's just not going to happen. They do not have the setup to actually do it. And I haven't seen anything that signifies that they are trying to make some sort of adjustment. I really don't. It's just rumors and stuff, which is cool. But how long is that going to last? I just don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I agree. I agree. Like I said, I'm in team. I'll believe it when I see it. And until I see it, I won't believe shit. I would need to have a product in my hand that absolutely showed that there was a change afoot. Until then,
it itself. It did it for a longer period of time. It would need to do it for not just a month, not just 2 months. It would have to do it for a period of time, and where they're firing on all cylinders for me to even
the first 2 years of Rebirth.
Well, I mean,
that was my point about prove it to me.
Yeah. This is what I hear is that they're wanting to do this for a 2-year project to get these better creators in, pay them better, get the proper guys in. 2 years to do this DC type of new universe. But then when they go, then what happens? Because Rebirth started off phenomenal. It was brilliant.
Yep.
Absolutely brilliant. Jurgens was fucking absolutely nailing Superman like only he knows how. It was like reading 90s Superman again. It was phenomenal. And then once they just pushed them all aside, James Tynion was doing well on Detective, doing very good work on Detective. Tom King, Jesus,
he was all right for a while there.
while he was not raping members of his workforce, because he signed a document saying so. He said, I promise I won't rape any of my fellow females in the comic book industry. And then they turned around, well, that's still not good enough. That's still not good enough. Oh, don't you know the wonderful thing that they forced all the men to say? And then they turned around and said, oh, that's still not good enough.
What?
Yeah. What was it called? The DC Pledge? Was it the Pledge?
I can't remember the name.
Yeah.
Whoa! I thought you were just joking because
no, that actually was a thing.
No, I'm gonna Andrew, if you could be so kind as try and find the DC Pledge.
On it.
Link it in the private
chat. Oracle.
We are living in the Rippaverse.
Yeah, it's idiocracy.
Yeah. It's the Whisper Network, and all that. Those hags who have been infiltrating the industry and destroying men's lives because they thought they could suck talent out of a creator's penis. Sadly, that's not how talent is actually acquired.
No, it's not sexually transmitted.
We have that problem in Hollywood too.
Yeah.
No.
It's called Men in Comics Say No.
Oh, Men in Comics say that. I can work from that. Men in Comics say no, we won't rape you.
They're saying no to rape.
So we're starting at a point. We're starting at like the where we're saying level. All men are rapists. Is that?
Oh, here we go. I got it right. Well, look for yourself because this is it. No, go fuck yourself. Bleeding cool. Fuck you. Rich Johnson, I won't give you shit, mate. Hold on. Let's just get all this crying bullshit. Oh, no. Nothing for you, Rich, you piece of absolute human effluent. Men in Comics say no. There are a lot of ideals we claim to honor in comics. Hope, justice, unity, innovation, creativity, freedom. None of them mean anything unless men in comics change our behavior and hold each other accountable for the safety of women and all people of marginalized genders and sexes. Well, do you know who the marginalized gender is? Men. There are more men, there are less men on the planet than women. So men are the marginalized gender because there's only two genders. I pledge to never abuse, harass, groom, or manipulate women and all people of marginalized genders, men, and sexes. Well, there's only two. You get it right, weirdos. So, they won't manipulate, but the women are okay to do it to the guys, by the way. That's fine.
I was about to say it's super insensitive for male survivors of sexual assault because it just not only does it say your feelings don't matter, it says you're also a rapist, and it says we're not going to talk about you at all because it doesn't matter because you're not in the group.
Well, don't worry. A woman would never abuse her position to enact sexual favors from a man. Isn't that right, Sam Amanot? Isn't that right? Isn't that why you are absolutely not currently fired from Marvel, but you're just holding your position because you get fired differently? Nothing to do with that whatsoever, is it, Sama? No, of course it isn't. No, that's absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with that. To hold myself accountable for my own actions, be open to the comments and concerns of my peers, and educate myself.
So
this is some common shit.
I cannot imagine being pimped to pledge like this. I would not. I can't even imagine someone approaching me with it. Would you sign this pledge? I just couldn't imagine that. I couldn't imagine how. But no, I guess it speaks to how fucked the industry is. That they got pimped into doing that. Fucking comics.
Whichever woman would give this to me, I would throw it behind her, and when she turned around to pick it up, slap her ass and say, "Make me a sandwich, bitch."
This is amazing, man. That was a thing. Man. This was a legitimate thing, man. And look, when the industry isn't healthy, man. It's just not healthy. It hasn't been for some time, which is why I think in order for there to be some resurgence from the big dogs, that's what would have to happen. If you got to look at the guys that have compiled the numbers, you will see that with Marvel and DC in particular, they're like, I guess you can call it market share, is shrinking. It's still the majority, right? But there are other players that are making more of that like combined number of comic book readers. So for me, I think it's far more likely that trend continues on. And yeah, maybe there will never again be a market set up to where only two companies basically dominate the vast majority of it. And maybe it's going to be a lot more, I don't want to say evened out, but it's going to be a far more competitive in terms of the actual makeup. I don't see a fucking problem with that. I don't see a problem. I think it's going to be far more realistic. I think that's going to be far more beneficial, especially because we're going to see different types of like economic setups and how people are publishing right now. What works for this company may not work for that company. And I think that's more realistic. I think that's going to be more or less what you're going to see, as opposed to those guys being on top of their game, reclaiming perhaps the market share that they once had. I just don't see that happening. I just think too many people checked out for that to happen, because even then, I mean, what are we're sitting here talking about? Okay, well, let's say if they did do it, like, think about how many other people that have been longtime customers that are like, they are out. They are like completely out. There's no bringing them back, even with a slight change. I don't see that, like, those guys coming back and, being let's say regular customers of these companies. They're completely out. I think that's just too significant of an amount.
No, I totally agree. It's so easy, so difficult to gain a customer, and it's so easy to lose a customer.
Ooh, boy,
that's just the sales mantra, regardless of which industry you're in. And the amount of silent customers that have walked away, there's been plenty of slinging mud back and forth on socials and all that. But the amount of quiet people that just turn around and walk away, particularly when a comic book creator, writer, artist, letterer, inker, wherever they come from, turn around and call their audience racist, bigots, homophobes, all this kind of stuff. Even doesn't matter where you fall politically. It's got nothing to do with politics. As much as they like to tout politics, it's got nothing. It's got everything to do with entertainment. And so when that stuff gets thrown about, regardless of which side you fall upon, people turn around and go, oh, this is an industry that hates me. Okay, I'll take my disposable income elsewhere. And I'll put it into an industry that is grateful for that money, whether it be hobby, whether it be something else, whether it be a completely different thing, equestrian. For all I know, we start raising horses, or the Rippaverse, or Soska's Bobs, whichever it is, whichever industry you're into, you can invest your money into that. So it's so counterproductive what they've been doing, because ideologically they haven't changed any minds. They haven't influenced anybody. They've simply preached to an already converted minority of people. And what they have managed to do is shrink their sales into, well, we don't know because they won't tell us anymore. And when they were reporting the numbers, they were bad enough.
Yeah, because
what the hell are they now?
Yeah, they were already bad, and even then you have the added stipulation that it was always to shops. It was never to customers or readers. Let's say that. It's always to shops. So they were trending in the wrong direction, and that data is still available. You don't got to take our words for anything. You can go to Comic-Con and just look at the last 10 years. That's all you got to do. Look at the last 10 years, and you will see combined unit sales have gone the wrong way. Even with the MCU being on top of the fucking world, it didn't change jack. It was still trending in the opposite direction if you're looking at the industry collectively. And again, those numbers were just two stores. What Diamond was reporting, two stores. If those books sat and rotted on the shelves, they still considered it a sale, right?
Yes.
So now we have Penguin Random House. We have, who's the other one? Lunar. We have no idea what it is those numbers are. And again, even when Diamond was reporting, it's not like we knew the ins and outs of the publication department. Like, so putting out books, if it was ever profitable, were they spending less money than they were, I guess, making? And I can't say they weren't, but it's hard to believe when you understand how many people are getting, like, on a $5 comic book, man, you understand how many people are getting their hands on that. It's hard to believe that they were ever making money like that. That's why I call them effectively the sugar daddies of the industry. Because look, Marvel does not get $5 every time someone buys whatever it was, $3.99 or $4.99. They're not getting it. They're not getting anything fucking close to that on each sale because they're selling to the distributor / retailer. Yeah. And it's probably a third of that. If that. So they're not, it's hard to believe that they were ever profitable with just maybe in merchandise, maybe in that other stuff. But I'm talking about just selling books. It's hard to believe, especially being on the inside and knowing how much shit costs with printing and all that. And yeah, they're taking advantage of deals that we'll never have, but they're also not making a whole lot of money off of each individual comics. And you could just go open. I wish I had one near me. Just open the book.
I got an example. Very, very easy example for you, Eric. How many copies did Alphacore sell?
Alphacore sold over 20. What was it? 23,000? 20? What was it? Almost 22, 23,000, something like that.
Yeah.
Right. So you've just reported your numbers.
Mm-hmm.
That's not.
And that's
hard.
not the shops.
That's not the shops. That's the direct customers. About 12,000, 13,000 different customers.
Mm-hmm.
22,000 books, 23,000 books sold. It's not hard.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you want to show us? You're the leading two. Okay.
They're bad. It's just we already know that they're doing fucking terrible, and it is something worth paying attention because you're trying to, definitely as a business owner, you're trying to gauge like the general interest of comics, right? The actual industry, and this is why I think there's a lot of positive with the growth of manga because at the end of the day, though it's formatted a lot differently, it is at the end of the day a comic book, read the wrong way, but it's a comic, and it's not colored. But it's a comic book, right? It is very much a comic book, and that has trended in the other direction, right? Where it's exploded in the West and what it is that we've seen. So there's still interest in that the medium. It's just trying to gauge and navigate that and really sell to customers. The customers are out there. You just got to tap into it, and I think that's where they're lost. And look, there's some sort of self-inflicted wounds there. I think they put out way too much shit, too many titles. It's impossible to keep up with as far as like this timeline. What timeline? Like, yeah, they don't make it easy for people to jump into their world. So that kind of hinders them as well. But yeah, the reason why they're not reporting the numbers is because the numbers are not favorable to them. If it were, we wouldn't stop hearing the end of it.
Yeah, they would never shut up about it.
No.
Yeah, we'd be seeing like Pal World, right? Every 5 minutes, it's another million.
7 million, 5 days.
Yeah. If the numbers were good, we'd know because they'd be so proud of it. That just like we are with Alphacore. Like we still just, you want people to know because it builds excitement and people are all they want to get in on a good thing. So
we got the numbers for Transformers 1, which was like 140,000 or something. Mm-hmm. So they were happy to talk about that because and that's number 3. Number 3 is number 3 in the charts right now. And this is how crazy. This is a comic that is essentially retelling the 1984 origin story of the Transformers, and it is right up there. What does that tell you about A, who your fucking audience is, number one, and B, what are people after? Well, back in 1984, that was entertainment. Why are people after manga? Because it's entertainment. Mm-hmm. Mainstream comics aren't entertainment anymore. You've got a bunch of femboys and you've got a bunch of lesbian women, and the femboys are fucking each other, and lesbian women are fucking dudes with dicks, women with dicks. That's what the mainstream is. Who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that targeted to? Nobody. Like a minus, 0.00 loads of zeros, 1% of people.
It's shocking. It's like that scene from Pulp Fiction. If every scene was the GIMP scene, like, you can't have that be every single title. Like, have maybe once in a while, but like every single one, it makes everybody feel like they're just being pandered to, and the people that they're representing, it's not like you're like, yay, that's what I really wanted. I wanted to look like I ruined this comic book. It was just like totally sunken. It's just, I don't know who it's for.
It's everyone. It's everyone. You pick it up. Oh, well, Hawk Girl's ruined. Oh, Superman's ruined. Oh, Batman's fucking ruined. It's like, it's just that, Alan Scott, fucking male prostitutes. Oops, I did it by mistake. J. Edgar Hoover made me do it. I promise, Gov.
Yeah, because he had a really open mind, Hoover. He was the most open time.
Well, Hoover's blackmailing him, saying, I'll tell everyone that you're gay. And Alan Scott's just like, well, I'll tell everyone that you dress up in women's clothes, you fucking weirdo. Oh, no, he doesn't. He just goes off and sucks a fucking male prostitute's dick in a truck stop. Okay.
That sounds riveting. And that's doing really well.
Tim, do you want to give us the numbers on that?
What are the numbers on that, Tim? Timmy boy.
Have you stuck it to the comic skaters, Tim? Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, the evil boogeyman's gonna get you. And the evil boogeyman, of course, being Elton John stigmatizing
AIDS, man. That's what it's all about. He's not taking a dime in royalty.
No. So, with that said, boy.
Bam. There it is.
We talked enough about bad comics.
Yeah, we're talking enough about bad comics. Let's talk about good comics. When I read Alphacore first time, and by the way, no BS chat, this is a fucking great book. This is one of the best comics I've read in a long time, and I'll tell you that. I'll promise you that. The link, I pinned the link, which will take you direct to the shop, direct to be able to purchase, and there's still all 4 covers available right now, but there's only 5,000 of cover C, and they're nearly all gone. So that is the foil cover. So be very careful, and then it's just going to get reduced down to cover D. This is cover A, by the way. So if you haven't picked one up and you missed out, you can still get the book. So don't worry, you can still pick that up. When I first read this, I said I had about 45 minutes before a stream, and I thought I'll just read a couple of pages and then I'll get back to it later. And I was halfway through the book by the time the stream started, and I was pissed off that I couldn't finish it. Today, obviously I don't read these. I just gotcha. Today I sat down again and I said, right, let's just going to refresh, get all the things ready in my brain for today's stream. Whoosh. Yeah. Just whoosh through it. It's such a good read. And I mean, Chuck is just the fucking best. Cool. So I got ideas. I want to go through, but let's start off with the core cast. Brian Solari. I wanted to call this stream "There's Something About Brian," because I think there's plans for that guy. I think there's big plans for that guy.
I can at least confirm that much.
I'm just gonna absolutely not stare at the Soska's faces right now.
Cover your faces. Turn your cameras off.
I tell you what I potentially see in Brian's future. I'll tell you what I potentially see in Brian's future. I potentially see somebody who goes rogue. That's what I see. I see somebody who is not a bad guy, but I see a guy who could be going down a pathway of this has got to be done this way. Okay. I am so looking at their faces. Okay. I am so looking at their faces. I'm not talking like a degree of parallax. I'm talking a degree back. I'm talking a guy who's very single-minded about an idea of justice, and he cannot work within the confines of these barriers which he's under. And I think there's something about Brian.
Okay, I can see that.
Your poker face is too good, Eric.
No, I can see your perspective on that. I can see your perspective on that. This much I will say, that is an NDA. You guys know I mean, if you got the cards, especially, you understand Brian, what ended up becoming Alphacore. Brian was the first member, if that's what it is that you want to call him. And so, he's coming from a unique perspective there, and his role. But obviously the big thing, as far as him being like this war hero, if you want to call him that, is arguably the biggest part of this whole thing. And that which stories will be told in the future, considering that, but it's something to keep an eye on. I will say that if there is a character, I mean, there's layers to each of them. Okay, there's layers to. I mean, you can make the argument with Ingrid. You can make the same argument with Braxwell, especially because he's not saying a whole lot, right?
I think Braxwell's possibly the most heroic of them all.
Okay.
I think Braxwell is he's quiet. But Braxwell is always on the scene. He's the guy that's like always there. He doesn't necessarily have to communicate with you. He doesn't have to receive accolades or anything like that. He's the guy. To me, Braxwell is the guy who gets shit done. He's not corporate guy. That would be unfair to him. I think he's driven by a much more greater sense of right and wrong. But I saw Braxwell as the guy who would be the absolute moral core of that team. I like the Ingrid Valdez little rizzes from Brian. She's she wanted to be a detective. She went down this route instead because of being an exec. And then, but we also saw there's a little bit of vanity there. We also saw, with the opening the car wash for a friend, having the 8x10s, signing them, handing them out. There's somebody who's enjoying the attention a little bit, maybe overcompensating for the whole freak business because she's an exec. Or the fact that she feels that she wants to be has taken this seriously as a detective would, while not being in a detective role. So I think there's a bit of a chip on her shoulder, which makes her a good character, makes her an interesting character, because you can play with that and you can play with it in all different ways. And I did enjoy the way when she was kicking Galvin about, she was reading him his rights and she was kicking him around the fucking room.
It was a great scene.
Which was great. Funny. Yeah. And then what was the line when the detective's like, you've the right to still be a jerk or something when he's on the floor. So yeah, I think they are very, very different characters, the lot of them. And I think although this is Alphacore, I would be very interested to see how Alphacore develops and whether or not the core breaks.
Well, this is what I'll say, that Chuck had a task, right? With us, or with ISOM, it's a little different, at least with number 1. But you see, like number 2, there are some new characters that got introduced in there, but it's very ISOM focused, and that's just one character per se. What Chuck had to do was handle 3, right? And to your point, all 3 of them are different. They're a team, obviously. They are a team, and then there's that team dynamic that's there. But individually, they are very different. They are not the same type of character. And what Chuck did such a phenomenal job of, he took advantage of all the time that he had, 90-some pages, and he was able to show in various ways the different personalities, some of what you brought up, between those characters. I think one of the true, to me, is going to end up being like this iconic sort of scene that really set the scene, was the back and forth early on in the book between Ingrid and Brian.
Right?
Where you really see between that dialogue that's there, you see the differentiation between those characters. They're and where they're at, where they don't see eye to eye, and where they make it work because it is Alphacore after all. But they are not the same kind of character. They are not, and that's what Chuck did just such a great job of. Man, he did a great job of that.
And the unsung hero of the book is Wilkins.
Yes.
Wilkins, who you get a little bit of him during the book. He basically caddies Valdez around for a bit because she can't fly. The others, of course, can fly. That's when we get the interesting exchanges about he was talking. He was kind of like looking up to her, really, as an exec with little powers, looking at as an exec with larger powers, and she mistook it for him not taking her seriously and just sort of admiring her as a comic book hero type of thing. I got superpowers. Oh my God, aren't you amazing? Sort of thing. But it wasn't. He had a little bit of power himself, and he was sort of not. He registered number 2. I think he registered 2 on the scale. So he didn't think he was as worthy to pursue that or whatever it may be. But at the end, it's Wilkins sort of overloading himself to stop the the area from smashing into the police station, which ultimately saved everybody. Which was a great little way to end it, because you know, you'd had this bickering and back and forth thing, and Brian making a huge mistake with the with the thumb drive. And thinking they could just reboot, it wouldn't be bad, shut everything down. No, it's not going to work out like that. Which made, of course, Michael and Lillian just look fucking brilliant. I love them.
They were having a blast, huh?
They were really, really having a good time. And so we literally had to get a surrogate member of the Alphacore, let's say, step in and actually sacrifice themselves. Which, if that doesn't have ramifications, particularly I think for Valdez, I'd think that would be a chance, a little bit of a drop ball.
100%. And Chuck's talked about that. Like you're 100% right in that something had to come up with that, right? Like and he's talking about Alphacore too, and there has to be some sort of with an event that big. I mean, there's got to be some residue, if you will. Like it's gonna be something there, and it's interesting. To your point, you know, those conversations that Ingrid and Wilkins were having, and you know, you started to see sort of her perspective just change as the story was continued to be told about Wilkins and her approach to Wilkins. And yeah, he ultimately sacrificed himself. And Chuck, what a son of a bitch, right? Because he created him to die. That's what he told us, right? He created Wilkins to die. Wilkins was supposed to die. And you got these people who were into him, and you got that brief introduction, and then he's gone, right? And in our world, that stuff matters, right? It's not, hey, Earth 6 Wilkins comes by, and now he's merged his reality with this main Earth, and here he is, and he's just alive now. Like, there's none of that. Like, death means something. You kill somebody off, that's it. You know what I mean? Like that's just what it is. So that was a big decision for him to make there, and he played it perfectly, man. I mean, it's just such I love hearing that people enjoyed this the most of all books so far, because that just says we're trending in the right direction, and that just says that we need to keep giving Chuck Dixon books.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Andrew, if I could just grab Andrew for 2 secs. So when the Michael and Lillian book comes out, are we gonna develop the relation?
I didn't think
you tell me. You tell me.
Look at him, he's fishing, man. He's fishing.
I would be down with that for sure. I've been singing Michael Copper's praises from the start, but
I like them both. I like them both. I do like them both, and I'd really like it if they were actually north and south poles in terms of the magnet, because opposites do attract, and I think they would work far better as a gruesome dewsome than if one of them dominates the other. I think we haven't seen shit from Michael yet. I think that guy is when he's gonna go, you're gonna know, and that's the feeling that I get from him. He's very he's very different to Lillian. He's restrained. He will use his drink that drink, ladies. You cover those faces.
Hydrate for sure.
I see him as the king on the chessboard. That's how I see Michael right now, and I see Lillian as the queen. She's the one with the great destructive power, seemingly, superficially, because you see her destroy. That's how she moves. Whereas Michael, he will rook, he will castle with the rook. He will start shifting other pieces into place to fight his battles for him. But ultimately, he's the king on the board. And that will be, they are fucked. Absolutely fucked.
I like that they're
just reading. You're just reading the book.
I'm just I don't know what it's going to be. I have no idea what it's going to be, but I think whatever taps Michael to go is going to be devastating for whoever is around. Devastating.
I like the theory for sure. I like, and you know, Andrew is a big fan of Michael for sure, and he's an interesting character, man. He really is. And I remember having this conversation with Chuck about, and I did this with every character, right? We had a discussion. Who the fuck are these characters? That's what he wanted to know. They were never. He didn't handle them like, hey, oh, there's characters in name, and I get to use them. Okay, let's just do some random shit. It wasn't what it was. It was okay. They have an attitude. They have a personality, and the story that Chuck wrote is just so respectable to that. But yeah, you got to see them in ice a little bit, right? And it was brief. It wasn't long. It was brief. It was like, hey, they up to some shit. They're up to something. And now in Alphacore, you get to really, really see them in action. But as we talked about before, it's a different type of action, right? We all know, if you've read our cards, if you've seen them even on the cover, they have powers.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw Ingrid do a little something.
Well, we haven't seen shit from Michael.
Lillian do a little something. But yeah, you didn't really see shit. You didn't really see them, like, as far as actually utilizing that aspect of their power. You didn't see that at all. The superpowers. Never saw it. What you saw was how they can make shit shake without doing anything. And that's power. That's another set of power.
I'll tell you the thing which showed off Michael as an absolute top, or I don't know what you're going to call them, but top level exec is when he's having dinner with the woman, and she just has to say a couple of lines, and he already knows that she is a psychic, and he doesn't even look up at her. He's still reading the menu when he calls her out, and then Lillian comes in and goes, "Fuck off, woman, get out." Because he knows that's what Lillian will do. As soon as he's exposed, the whether she be a reporter or whatever she be, digging, trying to find out who this guy is. That's another story, maybe for another time. Why was she there? Who's paying her check? Or was it just literally to show Michael being, I read everyone in this place. Everyone. You're already read. By the time I've sat down for dinner, before I've even picked up the menu, I know exactly who all of you fucking are right now. And I think that is the biggest thing with him right now. He's sort of like the anti-Batman right now to me.
Okay.
He's the guy that can suss the situation out immediately. Okay. And there's plans on top of plans.
That's
chat, I know nothing. By the way, Eric won't let me in, and I won't let Eric tell me anything. Yep. Okay,
he doesn't know shit.
I don't know shit. This is from years of reading comics and Chuck Dixon comics as well. but these are just the things which I see in falling into place with these certain characters. Lillian is certainly more of the hammer, but she's still got subtlety. She's still got. She's still got that know-how, but you can see her being the one that will light up first, and Michael will let her. I think that's the thing. Michael will let her do that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
very intriguing.
How interesting.
That is for sure. So I have to ask you, as the golden question that is that everybody's wondering, is what's your favorite part?
I didn't read it.
All those details that you would never have gotten on a Wikipedia wiki page or something that you just spelled out. That was just a lucky guess.
Notice how we've had none of that silliness with Alphacore.
Funny how that works, huh?
Funny how that. What's your favorite part of Alphacore? Please take a seat. Take a seat. Let's go through it page by page, shall we? Let's go through it.
I love it. That's the golden question though. As is what's your that's what everybody's wondering, because it's the only question that anybody ever asked pertaining to comic books is what's your favorite part, and probably why does the truck a certain color or some shit. That's a very, very important to comics as well.
What's the name and the VIN of the truck?
Yeah, all that's Social Security of the individual driving the truck as well. That's very, very important.
I heard there were just trace amounts.
Oh yeah, that's the whole book is actually just a 3D asset, to be honest.
It is.
You're not even holding anything,
I
right? There's
can
nothing
confirm
in
it
that
is
book.
a 3D. It is a 3D asset. Yeah.
The whole book's a
Chuck,
3D
Chuck
asset.
traced the script.
Yes. Yes.
Throw that into
W. Eric
ChatGPT.
W. Let's grab Eric W for a second.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you get Chuck script and you're lettering Chuck script, is Chuck giving you direction on how to emphasize certain elements, certain words, or is he leaving up to you to kind of understand the flow of the conversation?
No, actually, that's why I like Chuck's scripts. When he wants something big, it's big in the script. Sometimes I have to. A lot of jobs, sometimes it's not clear. But if it's he wants emphasis here or there, it'll be in the script. That just makes things run smoother for me. So there's less back and forth. Like, no, we need to make this bigger, make that smaller. So Chuck's always been great to work with. I've worked with him on various projects for 5 years now, different books here and there. So yeah, I always look forward to having a script from Chuck Dixon. Very, very, very professional guy to work with.
He's detailed, man. He'll tell you what he wants in those in the panels as well as the lettering. So good at that stuff, man. Something that I could even do a better job of for sure. Learning from him and how he approaches each panel. You feel like he's telling the story that you want to tell. But we have, him and Joe, and I know that Eric can feel me on this because Joe will do some shit. And I don't know if I've ever talked about this publicly. You get this with artists all the time. But Joe, there will be a panel or two that ain't in the fucking script, right? Like it'll be like Chuck wrote it, he's detailed, but I guess being an artist, you gotta have that storytelling aspect of it as well. You know what I mean? So because you're the one drawing it out. So there may be a panel that needed to be added that could give even further sort of context or make it flow in a certain way. And he's done. I almost NDA'd. I almost NDA'd myself just then. But there's another thing. There's another thing that Joe is working on.
Yes.
That he's doing that even more. Right.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
The what's the name? What's it called, Eric?
And it's great.
Yeah. Sorry, Andrew. It's one of my favorites.
It is. It is very good. It's very good. Seriously, no, it's but that's why they work so well together. You have Chuck's detail, attention to detail, and then you got Joe just adding that just added context to it to make these scenes flow very well, just from a storytelling perspective. Man, he is very much a visual storyteller. And is always thinking of ways. He's proactive in thinking of ways. You don't get that with every single artist. A lot of them would just do whatever's said on there. I'll just draw that out. But he's forward thinking. Joe is really forward thinking. You see a lot of that. It's hard for the audience to pick up on that because it's not like you guys got the script. But when we see it now, coming out, and I'm pretty sure there may have been a few times Eric got confused, not necessarily confused. He does, because he knows what he's doing. But you see, it's like, oh, that panel, that's not in the script, right? But it was added to give just a little bit more context there, and he's so good at that. Joe, big shout out to Joe Bennett, man. He's incredible at what he does.
The art was fantastic in there. There's some incredible panels in there. Let's bring the Oscars in for a moment. So with everything, the fallout of Alphacore, how did you find that going into Yaira? And obviously having to deal with those aspects in the book.
Yeah.
Well, it was interesting because it's not like we got a character that wasn't set up constantly. I feel like we got the Kane of the WWE. Like, they've been announcing Yaira for like over a year now, and we're just like, here she comes, here she's going. And
Yaira has a very different relationship with the Alphacore. I don't think it's a spoiler at this point to say that the Alphacore will be appearing in Yaira.
Yeah.
And if you want to have any sympathy for them at all, read Alphacore, because Yaira, let's just say that she is an answer to a situation, and she's her own type of answer. And it was really not, because she treats members of the Alphacore a certain way.
Sorry,
And
don't hold
there
back.
may
Just
or may
let
not
it flow.
be a member of the Alphacore that she actually has history with. And you will see that in the approach between them. And she's very playful. She's a little bit condescending, but in a very flirtatious sort of way. And to know that Brian Solari and Ingrid and Braxwell are all humans.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it's like, oh man, like she does certain things to certain ones of them. And then you look back at their life and like in Alphacore and you're like, man, they're having a shitty time. It's not like, go police and whatever you want to do is fine. They're very repressed, especially Brian. He's so emasculated at work.
Yeah, I don't. Gosh, it is a spoiler, isn't it? But you said Alphacore is going to be in Yaira.
We can say
Yeah,
that.
we can say that.
Yeah, it was a thrill to write those characters. Yeah. You kidding me? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And talking and being able to pitch Yaira to Chuck and hearing his feedback, it was just like surreal. And like, there's those two comics are kind of like the road to Hell in a Cell when Shawn Michaels is about to fight the Undertaker in Bad Blood, the very first one, and you're all like, and it's Alphacore and Isom, and you're like, whoa, this is sick, and then all of a sudden Paul Bearer shows up, and that's us, and we're like, Yaira survived a fire. She's and she rips off the door, and she.
She's definitely a change of pace. Like you watched how castrated the Alphacore is and how you got to fill out a D99 to save a life.
And it's the D99, yeah.
Oh my God.
Which by the way, Brian decided to fuck that shit.
Yeah. Yes. I respect that about Brian. See, I didn't know all that. I was like, man, he's not. Yaira, be nicer to him.
It's too late.
Yaira, be nicer to the Alphacore.
What about Isom? She literally tried to murder him, and then she was like, later.
That was just a Tuesday for her. She doesn't know.
She's like, don't bump into me.
In a gym gear as well, you know.
Yeah. So, yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah, it was amazing. Chuck also really like developed the characters. One of the great, I mean, we're big storytellers, and the story and the characters both have to work. Some people say one or the other is all you need. I'm like, no, you need great characters in an amazing story. And they had enough time for each of them to develop and have their own moments and really be divided. Like the one thing that Braxwell says.
Yeah, like three words.
Oh my God. I teared up when I saw it.
He takes his helmet off. It's so hard.
That's over Wilkins's body. Is that a cop? Bet your ass.
Yeah.
And he has his helmet off. Oh, what an amazing moment.
But there has been a very specific set of powers that we have seen amongst people. We have seen lightning, we have seen fire, and now we've got ice coming. And Jen just decided
powers, to maybe.
Jen said she's out. I can't.
Which are very elemental in nature.
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh my God! How much Rottweiler are you all hearing? Like a little.
Just some scratches. Just a little scratches. You know, they're just.
Oh, she was having a tantrum over there. She like digs on her side until I come running. I'm sure all of you have Rottweilers, and that's what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think this is a spoiler.
Go quick before Andrew stops you.
Yeah.
Andrew, I'm going to look at you while I say it. So because of the events of Alphacore and Yaira, it was important for all of the creatives like us and Chuck to discuss the events of our comics because there's a good chance they're going to be affecting the storyline. Affecting each other. Affecting each other's storylines.
That's fair. That's 100% fair. Like obviously, I mean, it's funny. I mean,
can you explain further?
No, I think the boss has it. The boss has it.
Yeah. No, well, you got Alphacore.
Oh yeah, because what's it? Think he's gonna?
Yeah.
You know.
I got your ass. Yeah.
Just fill in my blanks.
No,
filling your own blanks.
Alphacore, I mean, albeit in a limited role in some cases, like with Isom, they're basically up through Yaira. They're in every book, right? Like thinking about it now, right? It's
briefly, but yeah.
It's not necessarily in a massive role, but there's some intriguing things happening there. And in Alphacore 1, you got to learn more about that team dynamic, and as well as the conflicts that they have to deal with internally. But at the end of the day, Flores Park is a very unique city. It's a very specific city as well in terms of how it operates. So with a superhero cop team that is specifically not vigilantes, they are specifically part of the police force. You can imagine how, if there are to be characters that are in the city of Flores Park that are going to have at least some sort of impact on like the stories that are being told in the city, it's going to be Alphacore, right? It has to be, just because, again, that they're there to deal with certain types of threats. Okay. So when you're dealing with Excepts, it makes all the sense in the world that, and this is cool from a storytelling perspective, because we get to tell that perspective. When you have a villain that, let's say, knows that, hell, Alphacore is here, right? So they got to act a certain way, for sure. And they have to keep that in mind as they're navigating. The same can be said for more heroic characters as well. So you can even see, like in ISOM 2, as an example, Braxwell. If people forgot that scene where Braxwell is looking at ISOM on the fucking cab, right? On the car, like laid out, because it's intriguing to him that happened, right? Yeah. So there's all sorts of stories to be told. And to Jenna Silva's point, like, we're, as the creatives, the writers, because these types of events that are happening are going to inevitably, it may be in a small sense, impact each of our stories. That's the fun part. And I think that's also, it's funny, we were talking about other companies before. I think that's really what separates us from the other guys that have their own universes, is that our creatives are very much tapped in, right? So it's not, hey, you get a book and go fuck off. Like, it's not what this is. It's we have a book, or you have a book, and, well, we need to be talking about to make sure that events aren't clashing with one another, to make sure that there's no issues there from the continuity perspective. And if there was something that's big enough in the book it is that you are about to tell, or the story it is that you're about to tell in your book, that needs to be considered, right, in the story it is that you're telling. To me, that's fun. I could see where some creatives would be like, fuck that, there's too much to think about, too much work. I have an absolute blast with that type of shit, and I nerd out for that. And I think the people that are into our books are going to look at it and be like, man, this is really a living and breathing world to get into. And no book that they get is just random. Like, you own a piece of fucking history, man, as far as our world is concerned. And those events very well happened. And we make sure we pay attention to that for sure.
I think, by the way, chat, a couple of people going, what do you mean emasculated? I think what they mean by emasculated is he has to work within a set of
he got stripped down. Like, look at the scene, for example, in Alphacore, where you have a chief basically telling him what he can and can't do. Yeah. Right. And the only reason that happens is
necessary, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
blah.
You know, that's what any person that definitely has to deal with work, you know, you may have to deal with something like that, but particularly in law enforcement, right? Like this saying right there, right? Particularly in law enforcement, you're gonna see something like that, especially, and you know, Chuck brought this up yesterday, like Brian, if he wanted to, could take that chief and launch his ass like to the next country if he wanted to do that. It wouldn't be any fucking problem, and there wouldn't be a goddamn thing he can do about it, right? Mm-hmm. But he's operating within these confines, right? He's a former military guy. He's a
war hero. The fact that he's under control like that, I mean, y'all don't know anything about the war, but just know that the things he did in the war have earned him what I consider respect. Mm-hmm. A lot of respect, more respect than if he didn't if he was like, oh, I just got a D99, that entire bank would have blown up. How many casualties? And they're giving him shit about it. I mean, that's so backwards, especially with what he's done.
I think they're afraid of him.
I think so.
I think they're afraid of him.
Well, that's interesting you should say that.
Yeah.
There's something about Brian. It's funny you should say that, because when I was reading that scene where he was getting the dressing down, I was just like, if I was the guy dressing him down, I'd be shitting myself right now. Because he could literally flick you out the fucking window if he so desired. So I was. This is why I have these theories about Brian, because I don't think he can work within this system. I think he's trying. I think he's trying very hard. I just don't think he, as a character, from what I've seen so far, can work within the system. I think Braxwell can. I think Ingrid might have ideas about where she can go in terms of maybe possible career. But I think we are possibly going to get to a point where Brian has got to draw a line, and his line might be vigilantism.
Okay.
And where that ultimately leads, because it might not just be as simple as vigilantism. It might be you have to go.
Interesting.
Because you are going to be too much of a problem if I let you live. I think we could get some possible extremes.
Okay.
I am just brain farting. It's just the read that I've got at the moment. I don't see that at all with Braxwell. I don't see that at all with Ingrid, but with Brian, I think he's got a limit. I think there's a limit that he can take, and once that limit has been reached, Brian Solari is going to do what he needs to do.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that for sure. Like I said, I think once the stories get told, and they will be told, people will learn. People that picked up the cards, there was some Brian, perhaps on the back of the cards, had the most interesting one, right? Because it did. You learn about he is very much a sort of war hero, right? And he's in this position now that is different, similar but different. There's rules that he has to follow that very much are, as you can argue, liberating, is just as limiting as well. When you consider his powers and what he's capable of doing. And like I said, I can imagine, and Chuck did a great job of imagining, really for the audience, telling a story where you see that conflict, that a guy that strong and that powerful is operating within some certain confines that limits, in some cases, you can make the argument, limits his ability to do the right thing. And how he feels about that, well, those are stories that are inevitably going to be told for sure. But it is cool to theorize about that and what Brian's approach is, because again, he's coming from a unique perspective that the others don't have, and him being a very much a war hero, and now being a cop, per se, a super cop at that.
There's also that line, though. That line where he says, "You got a mean streak in you," and this is, I like that. And yeah. I thought, I don't know, I could be reading too much into that, but I was sort of like, I don't think Chuck writes throwaway lines like that.
No. Well, that much we can say. If you're familiar with Chuck, he doesn't waste pages. He doesn't waste dialogue. It's not his style. So it doesn't mean that everything is going to be more or less important.
Could be red herrings. Could be anything.
Yeah, for sure. But that tells that allows the story to take spins that you may have not picked up on at all. And that's actually some of which, I picked up from reading guys like Chuck. I mean, that was actually the reason why ISOM 2 went the way that it did, right? People had no idea what route we were going to go because we have this whole Darren Fontano problem. But what you start to get to the latter half of it is saving Sam, right? And then, if you might have missed that part if you weren't actually reading the story of ISOM 1, where he's going into the security house and it's like, that's it. Right, it disappears. You find out in ISOM 2 what actually happened to him. So Chuck is very much, that's his style of writing. So as he's telling more stories, because there's some other stuff that taps in. I'm not going to tell you obviously what it is, but there's some things that taps into other non-Alphacore stories that sort of taps into what you read from Alphacore 1 that he's working on. And I'll just say that much without saying too much, for sure.
That's fair enough. I'm going to ask the question legitimately. And we'll start with Eric Derbier. Let's start with you. What is your favorite part of Alphacore?
Well, we have he's been brought up a lot, but I really liked Wilkins as a character. I liked his arc of just this sort of accept and hiding, and then the heroic move at the end. I thought that was really cool. I'd say second are the villains, the Billy Bob and Galvin. I love the villains. The Rogues Gallery is a whole lot of fun. Like seeing how a team is going to handle different situations. So there's obviously going to be a whole lot more coming in the future. So there's more rogues to come. But with what we've seen so far, I really liked Billy Bob, especially. I like a good fire magma kind of thing, and then the whole bank
took Brian's eyebrows.
Yeah, took his eyebrows straight out of there, but suffocating him in the sealed off thing. I thought was a really cool way of like.
And that was the manager. That wasn't Brian. That was actually the manager that thought of that.
Yeah, it's a clever way of like dealing with that. Of a guy who obviously he's going to need the oxygen. So, yeah, those are the parts that stood out to me.
Tells you that we're paying attention to physics.
Yeah.
There you go.
What is Chuck? He's Chuck fucking Dixon.
Yeah, man.
He's Chuck fucking Dixon, man.
Dixon, man.
Andrew, what was your favorite part of Alphacore?
So I'm actually gonna repeat one of the ones that Mr. Weathers mentioned. It was that bank fight between Brian and Mr. Barbecue. This book made me really love Brian Solari as a character. And
I thought we were gonna go barbecue.
I live in Texas. That's just kind of like
it's
barbecue is implied.
Yeah, it's not good.
All right, so now that that's out of the way, yeah, exactly. It's basically in my blood. But Joe Bennett did this fantastic job with bringing some real classic superhero imagery to a lot of his panels with Brian. Two of them that are some of my favorites, apart from the one that's obviously an homage to a classic Superman cover, is the one where he's flying away right there.
Yeah.
I love that piece right there. And then the one when he's going up against Billy Bob. This one right here might be my favorite shot of Brian right there. But I
like the one where he's coming out of the Avery, and
that's a good one too.
He's doing that Superman because he's got the leg up. Yep. He's turning around and the cape sort of like curvy.
It looks so good. But I think there's something very deliberate in that imagery because you can tell that Brian wants to be a hero. He wants to save people. He wants to help. And so there's something actually
maybe too much.
There's a lot of storytelling being done just in the imagery there, right? And that's a wonderful thing for me. And then on the fun side, I love that my man Michael, his favorite line in the book is talking about coffee. So
that Michael, a great line. Oh, I will get to me later. Jen and Sylv. Hi. What was your favorite part of Alphacore?
Were we supposed to read it?
Oh, I'm illiterate. The pictures were cool. I will say, and this is probably like the most obvious takeaway, everything with Guy Wilkins, the relationship with him and Ingrid, and how I feel the relationship has softened her a little bit because she was very shitty to him right off the bat. And I felt the death wasn't broadcast. If you've seen my movies, I kill all your favorite characters. And there's usually like when Sean Astin was in Stranger Things, he was so lovable that I'm like, he's dead. He's dead. There's just so many moments, but there was enough that was in there with Guy that I was like, I was at the point I was like, oh shit, he's going to develop and maybe he's going to be on the Alphacore. Oh my God, this is so genius. We just learned about this thing about how you can power up if you focus. And I'm like, this guy's like, he listened and he wanted. And then I cried when I read the script.
Yeah,
and
the PDF.
Yeah, and I remember reading the book, and as soon as I saw him, I was like, "That's him. Don't get connected. Like, don't. You know it's coming." And that beautiful spread here, where he goes off and
he's just standing there.
Oh,
you know he's
just
focusing up.
there,
You know
and
he's
the
yeah.
face he makes of determination.
Yeah.
How he's like,
he's
that's
focusing.
my boy.
He's getting ready. Yeah, that was a because they're like,
and this-
what are you doing, Wilkins?
wow.
Come on. It's just like, yeah.
It's
No.
amazing. The whole thing could be storyboards for a movie. It feels
Oh,
like one of
yeah.
those 90s blockbusters where everything just hits the mark so well. My favorite part was the subtext to Brian Solari because I saw him like as a Cyclops or something. I was like,
This guy.
Yeah, I saw him. I was on Yaira's side when I first saw him and I saw one. So then when I read Alphacore, I was like, that's so interesting because he's in this place between what his duty is, and obviously he's a war hero. He's been a hero for working for people for a really long time, and even at the end when Ingrid whips the plane and screws it up, he's like, "You shouldn't have done that." Where you're like, he still is that guy with everything, but at the same time, you're watching him and being like, he's a human being too. What is this guy like? And what does he do? If he even has any moments where he lets loose, like what would that look like? And it's
who knows? Who would know?
I wouldn't know. Nobody
ever.
would know if I've never read him written again in the Rippaverse at all. He's not in.
I also have zero thoughts about Michael Copper and Lillian Ronashi. I've never thought about them ever again, and yeah, that's about it. I don't know anything.
You're writing the Michael book, aren't you? And Silver's doing the Lillian. Is it the other? Sorry, is it the other way round?
How's the poker face going, you guys?
That was pretty good, actually.
Pretty solid.
Mhm.
Well, until
I
Sil's
wouldn't
jaw
know.
started moving.
The only
He's trying
person
so
who
hard.
knows is that guy over there.
Only the boss knows. You guys excited about MegaCon?
Yeah, MegaCon.
Eric June, what was your favorite part of Alphacore?
Oh man, that is so. Oh man, it's so tough. Because I'm coming from a like it's different for me, right? These are characters, at least the core characters that I created that someone else wrote, right?
Yep.
So I will say this. My favorite part of the whole thing is, despite me creating these characters, I mean, you probably heard me say this before. These are stories that I never could have wrote. That was a Chuck Dixon, very much a Chuck Dixon story, and it was told in a way that respected the characters. Now, as I said before, outside of those on cover C, and Mick Davies, which he makes a very, very short introduction once at that motel, right? With Galvan going crazy. Outside of those characters, Chuck created every single other one and used them as the vehicle to sort of drive these plots or the story that he was telling. So generally, my favorite part is how he was able to tell such a fresh story while also respecting who the characters were. Braxwell acted like Braxwell, Brian acted like Brian, Ingrid acted so, especially Ingrid, man, he did a great job of handling her. That to me is what I love about this story, and that speaks to Chuck's writing, his style, and just attention to detail and care. Like he's actually in it to win it, and that's the only way you can tell that type of story. So again, I have to give a big shout out to Chuck, just being able to tell that story with these characters that he knew like I knew, and it was because he wanted to do the research. It was he was genuine in that. We had several sit downs about who these characters were, and he put them in a believable scenario, so it doesn't feel jarring. If you see Brian act one way in like Isom, or you see him act a way in Alphacore, it's the same character, man, and he's acting the way that he needs him to act, and that we need him to act, just as an individual character. So yeah, shout out to him. That has to be my favorite about the whole bit.
I never read it.
Yeah. So Your favorite part. You can't even tell us your favorite part because you didn't read anything. You didn't read ISOMs. You for sure didn't read Alphacore.
You. Oh God, honestly, that's actually such a difficult question for me to answer.
It would be if you didn't read it.
That's why. That is exactly why. Because it's just made up of so many great different elements to it. There are some wonderful arcs which go through. Ingrid and Wilkins' arc is great, particularly the way it's played out over the course of one book, and then just resolved. It is resolved because he's dead. Brian, like I said, there's a lot of interesting stuff with Brian. I think we're gonna have to say Michael and Lillian for me, because I think we are seeing chess. Like I said, I think we're seeing a game of chess being played.
Okay.
Michael is completely unfazed about anything that happened. Anything. And Lillian was the emotional one. She was the one that showed display. Michael he wasn't bothered. What Michael got phased about was potentially having his holiday delayed at the end. That's the only thing which got him slightly pissed. Which to me said everything. Everything. He came and he went to Floor Spark and he played a game. He played just a little game, and he was just dipping a toe in the water and seeing what he was getting. And I'm very, very interested to see what's going to happen to those two, because if I'm meant to dislike them, I fucking love them right now. But that's also a good villain. I mean, villains have to be written well to be enjoyable. Galvin, Billy Bob, they're all fun characters there. I think there's a lot of fun to be had with these, and obviously more to come. But it's Chuck fucking Dixon, baby. And my God, did he write one hell of a book. And next up, ladies, it's you.
We're ready. Put us in, coach.
Yaira Winter cannot come soon enough. I am so excited for no reason in particular.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's just going to be a very average campaign.
No hype or anything going on.
No, you're not going to get tired of seeing us literally on every stream possible and
We'll just shadow
talking
drop it.
endlessly about Yaira. It feels like Christmas.
Yeah.
Because we watched that whole ISOM campaign and we were like, oh, I hope it goes well. And then it went like insane. And we're like, yay. And then we watched ISOM 2 and that went insane. And this, like, comic books are alive and thriving if you treat your fans with respect. I really want Yaira to feel like a movie for people. It's a fuck yeah comic book. How much can I just say my favorite part about the ending, Andrew? No?
Yeah, yes.
Yes,
you can. Who's Andrew? There's nobody called Andrew in the stream.
Oh, he said it's fine.
Andrew, your God can't help you now.
It's abuse of power.
Absolutely. And I will
respect it.
continue to do that. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
It's
been such a joy watching what Deborah is creating, and Kanan White. I can't say enough cool things about him. Like, there's so many times that you work on an IP and nobody cares. And as a director, you're used to being the one being like, hey, care about this. But when you go to the Rippaverse, everybody cares so much. And there's these creative meetings, and then everybody starts riffing about characters, and everybody knows the character, so they can they push you to do your best work and even go farther than you usually do. Where a lot of the time in entertainment, you're in a little cage and you're like, what's the parameter? But with Yaira, it's like, just go, wild. And someone will say something here and you're like, oh, that's so cool. That'll affect, Yaira 4. And then, you're thinking about this other thing. So we're stoked.
Not that we've discussed a Yaira 4.
Yeah, we hope.
No.
Yeah, we hope people like.
I would hope so, though. I would hope there's been a lot of discussions about a lot of things to come.
I don't know if we'll ever write again after Yaira 2.
I love it. I love it. It was a lot. It's a lot cooking. That's what we can say. It is a lot cooking.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hot winter.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go to supers now. So Eric W, do you wanna jump out now? Is that the best time for you?
Yeah, I do need to get going, but I want to thank you, Ash, for having me on. Of course, Saska's, Eric, Andrew. It's always good hanging out with you guys.
Sure.
And I just want to say, go to battlebrickroad.com
Yes.
and support my comic book, Battle Brick Road. It's Wizard of Oz with guns, but other than that, I'm looking forward to seeing how Yaira does and the future of all things Rippaverse. Again, I bid you all a
Excellent.
farewell.
Now I know why you like Power World.
Take care, sir.
All right.
See you guys.
Take care, Eric. Thank you.
See ya.
He was so disruptive, wasn't he?
I know. God,
I know,
shut
right?
up,
Yeah,
Eric.
Oh
man.
man! Can we get a word in edgewise, mate?
He can
Mr.
talk.
Weathers is the best. Definitely, guys in the chat, go to battlebrickroad.com.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so beautiful.
Yep.
Right, let's get into some supers then. Let's see what the chat's got to say about all of this business.
Oh, you
Ca-
guys, hi.
Hey, what's up?
Hi,
chat?
chat.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey, hey.
yeah. Oh, the camera's been on. Oh, the camera's been on the whole time. Oh,
Thanks for hanging.
Yeah, guys.
hello. Kalioth with a $2 says test. PayPal seems to be broken on YouTube today. YouTube seems to be broken the last couple of days, so I think you're just gonna have to bear with a lot of things. Brent Wolf just dropping $100 and nothing
Shut
said.
up.
Just
Cocky.
baller. Slapping it on the counter, slaps a Benjamin on the counter,
Shut up.
turns around, waltzes away,
Nice,
That ain't
man.
cheap, man. That's a lot of money.
slaps your ass on the way out. Professor X. Professor Wolf. I'm reading the next one. Professor X with a $20 says, "Was that Braxwell with his helmet off and talking after Wilkins? Often talking after Wilkins died? Yes.
Yes.
This was my first Chuck Dixon book, and all the hype was worth it. Great job and congrats."
Shut up.
Chuck Dixon is the bomb, and the great news is you've got decades of Chuck Dixon books that you can go back and pick up as well.
Yep.
So yeah, it was Braxwell. Yeah, like I said, I see Braxwell as very much the moral center of that group right now. How that develops, I don't know. But right now, that's a guy who just wants to get a job done. Big Boned with a $5 says, "I was watching the Nooner, but I can't get enough Rippaverse, so I had to dip." Your boy.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, big bone.
you is the right you chose
Wise.
wisely.
Shut up, Gary.
Graph Web with a $2 says, "For fuck's sake!" Hashtag cancel Disney Plus. I have. I promise you I have. Okay.
Cancel that the night they fired Gina.
Big Boned again with a $2 says, Don Fry for live action Brian Solari.
Maybe for his voice. I don't know about like now. He's up there. He's like 60, isn't he? Or almost damn near.
I see Brian's what, mid 40s?
I can see that, yeah.
Man, we'll just get Terry Crews.
If it was Netflix,
Insurance numbers
That's-
are full in
Netflix-
the
if it was
Lord.
Netflix,
Netflix
produced
is doing
it,
Alphacore.
then that would be
Yeah.
that would be it. It would be
That's
Terry
when,
Crews.
when Netflix buy the ISOM license. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the case.
Discat Matt with a gifted membership to the stream. Thank you, Discat Matt. Steel Leg of History with a $5 says, "Thanks for stopping by and saying hi, Jen Silv. My birthday is next week. Doing a thank you stream to say thank you for all the support and kindness." There you go, Robert.
Appreciate you, man.
Happy
Thank
early
you.
Happy early birthday.
Yeah, subscribe to Steel Lake of History. He's awesome.
Discat Matt again gifting another membership to the stream. Thank you, Discat Matt. ×2, man. Rayonpo with a $5 says, "So the back summary of Alphacore, says Brian, was part of Texas military, not US. Does that mean Texas is a nation in the Rippaverse?"
We'll be telling some stories about the landscape of of the state and the country and all that. You trust me, you'll learn a lot about that soon enough. Like I've said, there are a lot of similarities, but there are a lot of differences in like the real world, if you will, versus the Rippaverse. So I'll say that much.
Okay. CJ with the $10 says, does Ingrid have a no-kill rule? She was in a lot of danger against Galvin, and as we saw later, she's far more powerful than what she's shown so far. She probably could have sliced him in half.
I mean, if you want to be technical, all three of them could fuck people up if they wanted to. But you got to remember, they are cops at the end of the day.
There's something about Brian.
Cops that are actually trying to do the right thing.
Yeah. There's something about Brian. George the Giant Slayer has gifted 5 memberships to the stream. George! Thank you, George.
George.
I haven't done that for a while there. That was just for you. So. Professor X again with a $20 says, I'm convinced the femoral prison guard was a double agent. Is that meant to be female, maybe? Mm-hmm. Was a double agent? Yeah, because she used the taser.
Mm-hmm.
And she hit both of them with the taser. Shot her co-worker in the face with one lead of the taser and gave Meth Gary the charge he needed with the other, all at the same time. Is she a bad shot or dead shot? I just saw her as somebody who was shooting under panic.
Incompetent. Maybe.
A little bit. That's what I saw. But I like that's an interesting theory, though. You see, when it's Chuck Dixon, you don't know because
bro. You never know.
You never know. You never know. But I was like, oh, she hit a co-worker as well at that range. I did have a And then of course both of those guards were left alive. Whereas the bomber was murdered. So you'd think, why didn't he kill the guards then? Why didn't he just finish off the guards? Well, if he killed just the guy, then that would have been exceedingly suspicious. So you either have to kill both or leave them both alive. You can play with these things.
Yes, that's what
you can play with these things,
especially when it's Chuck.
Yeah, Crimson. No, but I didn't read it, so
yeah. How could you even know those details, man?
I read it on Blue Hair Wikipedia for Twitter.com. Crimson Shadow with a £5 says, Rippaverse forever, to hell with all the shower of bastards at Marvel and DC. May you continue to succeed. You always take the most fire when you're over target, dude.
Yeah.
Shut up.
And the thing is, though, Rippaverse dropping bombs.
We're trying.
All over them. Scorpio04 with a $5 says, where is my sexy female redhead heroine mentioned in item 1? I have not forgotten.
Same.
NDA.
Hey!
Good answer. Good answer.
It's gonna be like that, is it? Okay, I guess.
Eric's good. That's why he's the boss.
I don't want to play Eric at poker.
I wouldn't either.
You two, though.
I'm actually good because I don't know how to play poker, so I never know what I'm looking at. So no one can read my eyes.
You don't know whether you're bluffing or actually legit, okay. It's one of those. Caro Brown with a $10 says, crazy fun fact. I got a letter from the VA a few months ago asking me to visit the VA clinics. And they'd promise to not arm me if I did. I was still confused. Still haven't gone.
Wait, why is that like the preface to anything? Like, hey, go here. We promise not to rape you.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
why was that even a thought in your head?
If you have to say it, like saying, just so you know, I'm not a pedophile. I'm like, whoa, whoa,
Oh,
whoa,
yeah.
whoa.
Why would you say that? Yeah, why would you
back
say
up
that?
here for
Yeah.
a second? Back up.
The funny thing with the pledge though is that a bunch of absolute soy-cut beta males got tricked into making themselves look like monsters by the very people who were actually manipulating them in the first place and have been trying to ruin careers in the mainstream to prop themselves up and their dog shit work. And fucking idiots like Tom King fell for it. But where's Tom King now? Working for James Gunn on the DCU. Fucking good luck. Also, James Gunn, by the way, said on Threads, I don't know what the fuck that is, but he said on Threads that J.J. Abrams' Black Superman film is still in the works. AKA never gonna happen.
It's never gonna happen special, man.
I'll file that next to StarCraft Ghost and Portal 3.
Oh, don't. That's too soon, Andrew. Fucking hell. Too soon. How long's it been? 12 years? 13 years?
Something like that, yeah.
Too soon.
Still too soon. Hey, I wanted StarCraft Ghost as much as anybody.
Oh, man. God damn it.
I just gave that.
I got fuck off out of here.
I gave you non-flashbacks. My bad. Now I know what your trigger is.
Now I'm thinking of that Warhammer MMO that was going to come out and everything, man.
I went and ruined the whole stream.
Josh Kelsey with a $20. Josh. Thank you, man. Love you, Josh. Captain Hyrule 97 with a $10 says, here's a cool idea for a Rippaverse fighting game. After you pick your characters and stage, it goes to the versus screen, but instead of versus, it says Catch Street.
That's cool. That'd be a cool way to do that. Be pretty sick.
Got him.
Be awesome.
I like a good catchphrase from a character. Catch Street's good.
Catch Street. Yeah. Chiboy. Up, Darren. Blabs the Tower Tard. Wow.
Fucking Blabs, man. Why do her like that?
Well, did you see the latest thing where she thought it was safe to play Modern Warfare 2 lobby chat on stream?
Oh wow.
I think they got about 3 seconds in before the first N-word was dropped.
Yeah, that doesn't take long. That's actually probably a world record as far as like, because usually it's like right off the rip.
Straight,
like
first word.
Yeah,
Boom.
first word is the N-bomb usually.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I saw that clip. I laughed. I laughed a lot. Blabs the Tower Tard with a $5 says, the only 3D assets Rippaverse fans care about, wow, are on the Soska sisters. Hail the Rippaverse. I like pickles. Yay!
Oh my god. The Tower
I got a feeling I know who that person is.
Oh my god.
What's up, Fear the Tardo? How you doing?
Fear the Tardo, man.
Joker's Disciple with a $5 says, my Megacon badges and me, PCS 1 in 3, Melina on the same day. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Fuck. I'm very happy, guy. As you visit US when? 2025. You enter strongman competition when? I mean, I can't show you that. Can't show you that shit for free. Are you mad? You fucking mad?
He's getting there. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Can't show that for free. Come on now. Jeez, man.
I love it.
But yeah, the Elden Ring statue's coming, man. Ooh.
Nice.
I'm gonna have to lock my wallet away.
Which one?
Well, I think the first one is the Melina one. And then I'm gonna see if is it out. It'll be out for pre-order. Is that the Mortal Kombat? They got the Mortal Kombat one. Yeah, there is who's
Queen
it?
America.
Pure Arts. Pure Arts have hinted that they are bringing Elden Ring statue incoming. Ira Brownridge Jr. with a $5 says the storytelling in Alphacore was amazingly beautiful. Love the highs and lows. Can't wait for number 2. I know. I know. Bring it on. It's legit. Bring it on. I got a feeling about it, Ira.
I hear it's good. I hear it's good. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but it's really good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
Well, I think by page 20, I really felt that. No, I don't know.
Just that one.
Can't carry the fuck on. Carry on. Okay, I'm fine. Okay, never mind. Hi, Andrew. Where did you go? Where did you go? Trying to do a show here, dude. Can you be professional? Come on now.
Andrew, we didn't say anything.
My bad.
We just talked about the beginning, middle, and end, and new characters.
Yeah.
Oh, is that all? Oh, that's
And
fine.
a little dialogue.
Trying to give me a heart attack, Jen.
Apology accepted, by the way. Wild Hunter with a £2. Hi, y'all. Any plans for Lovecraftian elements? Horror. Let's go with horror, more monster horror or supernatural horror. Okay, I'm gonna say it. I think when we get to see Michael go fucking ham, I think that's what we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see some fucking weird, fucked up shit.
Okay.
Maybe if he's fucking with your mind, maybe if he's pulling into places, maybe him himself. I think Michael is gonna tear your fucking mind apart.
I can see that.
Interesting.
You got this sausage just going, and Eric's just everything. Every time I say something, Eric's just like, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I can see that.
Such a great non-answer.
That is his non-answer. Or
Just
interesting.
such a non-entity, isn't it?
It's because it's not actually saying yes or no. It's just saying, yeah, I have a good enough imagination to where I could actually see it.
Yeah, he's basically just saying, yeah, you said something. Yeah, you said something. Yeah, you said something. Yeah.
Some horror books would be cool in the Rippaverse if that happened ever.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we have some people that kind of specialize in that or anything.
No.
You know?
Where
We'll
would we
need to
find
hire
those?
No.
Yeah, we have to hire externally to do that for sure.
Do you know any horror people, ladies, at all?
Nah.
Not personally.
No.
No.
Okay.
There was
I'm a
that
big
dude that
fan,
left
though.
Scream, right?
I'll keep a lookout for you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. It's all good, buddy. I got your back.
Thanks.
Send me a list.
Miles Mulholland is Miles Mulholland with a 10 Canadian. Says, hail to the panel. Second Ace spoiler stream in 2 days. Will Brian's backstory with Yaira get some light Oscars? When is Silverback 1 coming?
Silverback 1.
Yeah.
Right there, baby. I got you. Will he be a heel or a face? Will Mags be the writer? One can only hope. One can only hope. Trans Silverback incoming.
Fuck.
We hired Mags to write a book. That'd be more money than he'd seen in a single year in one project.
That's probably true.
What? $10?
Give or
Even
take.
if it was only that.
Give or take.
Oh, they pay us well, boss. You take care of everybody here. You
I
take
try.
care, and also I will say that we get paid in the same account, and Sylv has been paid for the back end of Black Widow, and I've never been paid for it still. And I keep messaging, and they keep showing like how much, especially Rippaverse fans. Thank you. There have been so many. This is almost sold out. Like it's hard to get. It's no longer in print. And thank you. I keep seeing the money that won't come to me, but I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
Eventually it'll come to Sylvia.
Yeah,
Hey, you get paid in exposure.
Actually, that's my reward.
I think Brian's backstory with Yaira, if they had one, would be really one of the most fun things to write.
Yeah.
If it existed.
Yeah, and they speak together, so who knows? Maybe their relationship is cast more light upon in Yaira 1.
Oh, I hope nothing happens in Yaira 1 that makes their relationship more complicated.
Yeah, that'd be a fucking shame, huh?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something?
Whew. Man,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they'll respectfully give each other their space.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps.
I must break you.
And I think Yaira's going to be really cool-headed about everything. Very logical.
Hey!
That's good.
I heard Billy Bob was a hothead. Mr. VNM1.
I said he was a flamer, right?
Yeah, he's flaming.
Wow. Oh, so he's Bobby from he's Iceman now. Okay.
Shit.
We should
Not
have let
quite.
Bobby be at least bi because I was like, you had like some serious relationships. Really? It's like, nope.
Never
No,
happened.
no, because a psychic got into his head and made him gay, and now the poor guy is rotting men while probably dying on the inside.
Yeah.
That's some Purple Man Jessica Jones stuff.
Yes,
man.
it is, isn't it? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fucked up, man.
Talk about painting yourself in a corner. Holy.
That is fucked.
Mr. VN1 and with the $2 says, I've been waiting for Yaira forever. First purchase.
Thank you.
Winter is here.
It is winter technically right now, as
It
But
is,
Yaira
yeah.
means to illuminate and to enlighten. So as the light starts to come back, that's not the sun. That's fucking Yaira. She is
Yeah.
on her
Wow.
way.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Scorpio 05 with a $10 says, what I loved about Alphacore was the humor. Brian asking the chief permission to fly, sir.
Yeah, that was tongue in cheek.
Be here, barbecue grandma telling him to get his lazy ass up because he's late to go rob a bank.
That was so good.
That was good.
I
good.
showed that off earlier. Yes, because the guy says the guy does say to Brian, you shouldn't fly unless absolutely necessary. And so when he berates him and he leaves, just permission to fly, sir. Like, get out of here.
Chuck is so damn good.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
as close as Brian would get to saying "fuck you."
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't know
At
what
the
you're talking
moment.
about, Az.
At
You're a
the
very
moment.
imaginative man.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got a wild mind. You
Yeah.
got a wild mind.
Yeah.
We're in really good surveillance around here.
Yeah, you gotta check the cameras.
I disavow any knowledge of those, by the way, if you find any, of course. Anywhere. Particularly James Watkins with a $5 still. I noticed that Texas succeeded with the mention of the Texas military. And is the war of separation tied to the supernatural and other world dimensions?
Well, you would at least know from reading ISOM 2 that I can at least speak to the latter because it's already out there. So if you go read ISOM 2, you have that conversation between Gooding and ISOM, right? Or Avery. And they talk about that certain entities and shit made some moves during that time period, right? So you know at least that. So that question is and the latter half question is for sure answered already. Go read that. I would say go back and read ISOM 2. That one part. It gets it's good. It's good.
Okie Barbecue Pits with a $20 says, Ripper, you still haven't told us what church Isom goes to. I'm disappointed in how you leave out these very important details, fam. Shout out to my arch nemesis as my #1 competitor for the Rippaverse #1 fan title. I'm a non-bought and paid for shill.
Sounds about right.
Can I guess which church Isom goes to?
Yeah, go ahead.
Isom.
Oh, I just got it. Dead. Dead. Oh.
That's definitely not too soon.
No, we're over that. It's no such
That
thing.
story arc's ended. That story
Yeah,
arc's
that
over,
arc's
isn't it?
ended. So we can do spoiler talks now.
God in heaven.
All is fine.
Hot Dice with a $5 says, shout out to Eric Weathers and Battle Brick Road, one of the few books fine enough to make it into my Rippaverse short box. Can't wait.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Shout out. Shout out.
I was lucky enough to pick up 3 short boxes, and they're just going to have Rippaverse books in them. That's it.
Hell yeah.
That's it.
Hell
That's
yeah.
it. Miles Mulholland with a 2 Canadian says, as trilogy, Peeping Tom, Silverback, and Fisherman. Silverback, eh? Okay. Ira Brownridge Jr. with a $5 says, okay, got my MegaCon tickets. You guys win again. and didn't touch my Yaira money at all.
Good man.
I love that you have Yaira money.
I know. Don't
Thank
touch
you.
the Yaira money. The rent money, who cares? But the Yaira
Food,
money,
rent, bills,
whatever.
anything.
Yeah, get
that's
your
fine.
priorities sorted.
Yeah.
Ira, thank you.
Learn
Comic
about
money.
squatters' rights. You can stay there for a really long time without paying.
Don't listen to Jen.
But you can.
Don't listen to Jen.
You can go 30 days without food
A little fast.
before your body eats yourself.
Megacon fast.
Hemorrhoid hurts. Oh, lovely. With a 3 Australia says, what an intriguing discussion. I'm revved for more. Gollum Wolf with a $5 says, it's hard to explain, but you can tell that everyone involved is having a great time making Alphacore. It added to the quality of the final product. Oh, amen.
Everybody's having.
I don't think there's any denying. I mean, I'm not a member of the Rippaverse. You know, I'm just friends with Eric, and we do this show. And you know, I've been introduced to all these wonderful people here. But it is clearly evident from the outside looking in that these are people who are loving what they're doing. I think it's reflective in the way that they stream with people. I think it's reflective in the way that they communicate, and it's certainly reflective so far in the product that we've had. And if you've seen Chuck Dixon on as well, Chuck is so enthused about it, and to see Chuck so enthused about comics is phenomenal. So you boy,
that's what it's about. Hell yeah,
going down. So yeah, it's from outside looking in. I think you can easily tell. You can't fake this kind of nonsense. That's for fandom. Oh shit. We haven't mentioned inclusion and diversity once.
Nah, man, the whole show would have had to be about diversity, inclusion, and whatever other gay shit we could have come up with.
I'm going to tell you which holes I put it in and which people I put it in.
That's all important about
when
it comes to buying books and shit. Like those are the very important things.
Yeah,
that one must focus on.
What's your book about? I suck dick.
Books.
Oh, that's nice. But what's your book about? I take it in the poop. Okay, that's cool. But what's your book about? J. Edgar Hoover's Bright.
Stigma.
Yeah, I stick.
That shit will never not be funny. Shout out Tim Sheridan, man.
Shout out Tim.
Yeah, shout out Tim.
You couldn't sell a damn book to save your life, but you made us laugh.
Yeah. Hey Tim, come on the show. We'll double your sales in an hour. We'll double your sales in an hour, Tim.
Easily.
We'll have a chat. Seriously, Tim, get in touch. We'll get you on. We'll have a good laugh. I mean, at the expense of you, but we'll have a good laugh. Ted Hammond with a $5 says, I just want to thank Eric and the Rippaverse. As got me into it. Hey, Saska sisters, I see you. I'm ready for Yaira. Let's friggin' go.
Go. Hell yeah. Let's go.
Oh, winter is coming.
Gonna be a
Brian Anka Tonin has become a member. Brian, that's a pretty big name around these parts. You know, in Alphacore, you know. There's something about Brian. And again, Brian gifting 5 memberships to the stream. Thank you so much indeed, dude. Appreciate you. Becomes a member, gifts memberships. What a baller.
Badass.
And Lower Lips Liquor gifting 5 memberships to the stream as well. Thank you. Just to see the look on Jen's face when I read the name out.
I got that one now too.
Yeah, it was
I didn't know. Thank you. She explained it.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Now.
Riot Press Comics and Toys with the $5 says, Hail Eric and as Saska Sisters is Okada showing up at the Royal Rumble.
You big Royal Rumble fan there, Riot Press Comics and Toys?
I really hope AJ Lee shows up.
Yeah, that's who I think is going to show up.
I just am going to be sitting at home going, AJ! Over, because they can hear you if you're loud enough in your living room.
Well, I think ever since
the neighbors can anyway.
Back to the WWE, it's proven that any dream can come true and any cool thing is possible. So, and WWE is going to Netflix now. So it's going to be So it's gonna
in
be
the
more,
Canadas.
it's gonna be more accessible than ever.
And in the UK. And in the UK.
Yeah.
Shut up.
No spoilers, but don't miss this Royal Rumble, especially if you want to see some really cool stuff happening.
Not that we know anything
Not
about
that I know
anything.
anything. I'm not friends with any
ever.
wrestlers. They
Yeah,
don't
you've
tell me
never worked
shit.
with wrestlers or any of that shit.
Yeah.
Never once ever.
All I want to
And
know.
everything
all I
you
want-
hear about wrestling is real. Also,
Yes,
it's all very real.
The beefs are real. Everything's real. They punch each other in the face every day. It's not at all done for hype.
Yeah, and
Professional
everyone
wrestling
in the
is real,
back is
people think.
afraid for their life every day.
Yeah.
I had this big headcanon reveal of Okada at WrestleMania. The main event finishes the new champion, whoever that may be. Let's say Punk. Let's say Phil gets it. Phil's there. He's holding up the belt. Crowd's going wild. The lights sort of dim. All the fucking screens come on. A drop of rain just starts. Then another drop. Then it starts pouring. And then the audience who know, the more clued in ones are starting to get excited because they're seeing the rain. And then it starts to pour. Then we see the money come down with the rain. And then it just goes Okada. The fucking Rainmaker comes out. Everyone goes crazy. What do we get? Oh, he's just a fucking side person on AEW. And I could not believe what they did with him on
Can you
AEW.
imagine? Like they had Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, and now those guys are gonna be like main eventing at the WWE, and they did nothing.
Nothing
with them at AEW. Nothing. Like,
Yeah, Vince McMahon is probably the most insane person in the world, but hey, he knows how to do good wrestling.
yeah, he does.
He does do good wrestling. He's a son of a bitch.
Well,
He knows
he
it. but he
did.
does good wrestling.
I don't know about the last fucking 15 years or so, but he did.
At some point.
But yeah, I mean, my God, what an absolute waste of talent. But I mean, come on, do something with Okada because that is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
Never mind. Star Trek 58 with a 20 Australian. Hey guys, my signed copy turned up. Was a hammer too much to get in? Okay. I love the smell of new comics in the morning. Seriously, I just took it out of the bubble wrap to look at the signature and then put it back in the bubble wrap.
Those
Shut up.
slabbed books are a beauty.
Yeah. Shout out. Shout
I
out.
know.
Star Trek. Shout
I
out.
know. I just got I slide in and picked myself up an Eric July autographed Isom
Ooh.
cover A while they were still because I had the slab, but I didn't have the autographed slab, so I slide in there. It's been shipped today.
There you go.
Slender 7 last Marcos with a $5 says hashtag justice for NDA Andrew.
Marcos, we love you.
We love you, Marcos.
Y'all even have no idea how hard Marcos works on the concept and the character, like the Ira costume. My gosh, he's
Yeah.
And the things in the Yaira book or books that you haven't seen, damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
What I love is Marcos does all the concepts, but there's so many different genres within the Rippaverse. And you'll see him do one genre and you're like, whoa, that's so great. And then he'll do such a great version of something completely 180 from that. And you're like, he's
We've
great.
done some weird shit. Like on Yaira 1, we were like, let's
no way.
And now
This
the stuff
shocks
is
me.
just the stuff in Yaira 1, which is all I've ever worked on, is all very
Yeah,
wonderful.
I misspoke when I said there is a Yaira 2. I can't count.
There's an extra doubt.
I am hammering that exit out. Thank you. DK Ritter with a $2 says, can't wait to give the Oscars big hug at MegaCon.
Shout out.
Barbecue
Same.
Pit
Thank you for coming out.
of the closet. With a sorry, it's not DC Marvel, my bad. With a $5 says, yo, Ripper, I forgot to tell you I need another short box, homie. Your fans have spoken.
Yeah, we'll get to working on something. I don't know when it'll be ready, but we will for sure work on something.
Nice.
You'll get another short box, 100%.
Wrong one. Ted Hammond with a $2 says, promise us a no team up ever with Cyber Frogsman. No. Trey Gordon with a $5. My favorite part of Alphacore was when Larry Shungite, Brian Isom, and the SSWL heavyweight champion of the world was set for a fatal 4-way Hell in a Cell match for the title. Wait a minute, I thought Rip and the Silverback tag team was coming in. Oh,
yeah.
NDA
yourself.
NDA.
Yeah, that was favorite part. Yeah, Larry Shungite, and I didn't even know Brian was a wrestler, but so that works for me.
Stone Cold Rock.
Yeah, that works for me. For me.
Ira Brownridge Jr. with a $5 says, "Hey, got Omaha Steaks order for my birthday. Yaira money is safe."
Shout out. Appreciate that.
Joe Music 931 with a $5 says, "I can't make it to MegaCon, but heads up, next con I'm taking Jen and Sil back with me." That's called kidnap, Joe. That is a class 1 felony, Joe. I'm just saying.
Let him speak. He might live somewhere nice. He's like, "We're going to Hawaii." I'm like, "Well, okay.
Joe, what does your basement look like? We've been offered many.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shout out, Joe.
Only got an attic myself, no base. Anyway, Star Trekker 58 has been a member for 43 months.
Long time.
Can't wait for Yaira to come out. Don't take literally. I meant for the comic to come out. Sorry, we already beat you to that joke, I'm afraid. Sorry, Silverback. Only $20. Can't touch Yaira money. Dude, $20 is A, exceedingly generous. B, I hope you're not touching your Yaira money. I ain't touching my Yaira money. I'm having it all, baby.
I'm dying that y'all are calling it Yaira money. I'm dying right now.
Hashtag Yaira money. Don't touch it.
Oh, that's sick. We should get like
Don't
cash dollar Yaira money. Cash dollar Yaira money right there.
Things I can go without so I have more Yaira money.
That's actually pretty good. Yeah, okay, I can make some cuts. Yeah, we can do that. Gentleman Jervis with a $5 says, "Is that the real one again? Is that a real Gentleman Jervis wrestler, by the way?" With a $5 says, "Resident polite wrestler in it." Yes, it is. I do like a bit of Gentleman Jervis. Very polite wrestler. Resident polite wrestler in the audience here today to say, "I love you. Wish everyone a lovely day and predict a CM Punk victory at the Rumble." This could be the first WWE event I watch in 7 years, 6-7 years.
Ooh, welcome back.
So if Phil ain't fucking winning, and I'm fucking writing. But yeah, Gentleman Jervis, I'm fully aware of who you are, sir. I have seen you wrestle, and yeah, where are you? That's my question. Where are you? You've been AWOL for a fair bit. So there you go. Joking Lee with a member for 6 months says, "To add balance, Omega is coming. Hail Rippaverse."
Shout out, Joking Lee. Shout out.
And then finally we have That Who Girl with a $20 says, "Excited to see y'all at MegaCon."
Yeah.
There you go.
Great time. Shout out.
So there we go. Hey, bloody hell. Another one in the books. We managed to tie that up in the 2.5 hours.
Ooh.
Aren't we so efficient?
Man, efficient, man. We rocking and rolling.
Oh man, I had bait everywhere today. I had fucking all sorts. And I got to see if I got anything caught. We'll see.
No.
Before we go, Andrew, is there anything that you would like to push, plug, or any other orifice for the DC universe?
DC universe? Hell no. But for the Rippaverse, you should keep an eye on our website because we will be adding that Braxwell t-shirt very
soon.
Braxwell.
Right now.
Soon,
TM. You still got the Alphacores, yo.
Yes.
Yep. You can grab those. Got
Yeah, your shirts for $8.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I've got 8 of them.
It costs next to nothing, guys. You can get a shirt. You can't go anywhere and get a shirt that cheap. So
I got Brandon going, "Why are you getting so many t-shirts?" I gotta have changes, man.
Yeah.
Changes. I'm a man. Christ. He's, when I do my laundry. Brass Monkey for $10 says hot Yaira Winter is coming.
Damn right.
Rippaverse for life.
Shout out Brass Monkey.
Brass Monkey.
Yeah.
And that's going into the book, by the way. If I can find the... We'll do that later. I can't find the book. Where's the book? I've hidden the book. Here's the book. I found the book.
Yeah.
There's the book. Going in the book.
Never had a doubt.
There we go. Going in the book, Brass Monkey. Oh, which is a new month because we got shekels from YouTube today. So I actually transferred all of the other into the Hoos Fund.
There you go.
So thank you, Brass Monkey. Saskas. What have you got coming up? And go into great detail.
Really slow week. Next
God
week
damn.
slow too.
So proud
First
right
week
now.
in February we're gonna go to Florida with the Rippaverse, which is gonna be sick. We're gonna be at the booth every day for meet and greets and hugs and stuff.
Oh, if you don't want to hug, give me a Wakanda.
Give us a
symbol.
Wakanda sign and we won't hug you. Just let us know.
I can hug you fast. Like, you know how a snake strikes? That's how fast you can get hugged if you're not
Yeah.
watching. So don't come near me if you don't want to get hugged.
You can just do one like
Wakanda me.
you can do one like a communion, like you just want a blessing.
Yeah, just a
Just so, like,
blessing.
you can
Yeah,
get
or
ready.
you can just put the fist
Yeah,
out
I'll fist bump
and I'll
you.
figure it out eventually. But the thing you want to know is the next 3 characters that we're writing for the Rippaverse in
Yeah.
Don't miss the channel on Saturday because
No particular order.
Come on Saturday because I hear Eric July is planning something very special.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
going to be a really good chat. And let me just say, it's going to be a really memorable convention that the Rippaverse is coming to compete with the other folks there.
Yeah.
But the thing that's no competition is we're here for the fans.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we just want to talk to you. Also, if you don't have money, you can come over and say
Yeah,
hi.
come over and say hi.
We're very nice people. We're not those people that like you need to buy something to
Yeah.
even
No. We won't do
Oh,
that.
be a part of it, man.
Yeah.
And
In the end, you'll find out we're better at keeping secrets than you thought.
yeah, maybe you will. And also we have a lot of fun for the fans plan this year. Like
The booty shorts.
the Yaira body pillow. No, I'm just kidding.
The Eric sketch. That's serious. We are coming for this.
Yeah, guys,
I
let's
hope
not
it's
Yeah.
a fucking key.
let's not fuck around, guys. Let's get it. Okay.
Do it.
I can get
Around,
behind
find
that.
out.
I can
Wait,
get behind that.
that's what she said. Before we move on to Eric, we got a quick. Brent Wolf has been a member for a month. Says Az moves to Texas when 2025. I'll definitely be in Texas.
There you
I'll
go.
be coming over. I'll be
There you
I'll
go.
be in
Let's
Dallas
do it.
as well. In
Yeah, yeah.
Texas. I'll be in Dallas. I'll be in the Rippaverse.
Let's do it.
I'll be packing some books for a day.
Let's do it. Let's fucking
T-shirt.
do it. That'll be exciting, man. Hella exciting.
Yeah, maybe you'll get something extra in your box. And that is most definitely what she said. Eric, what you got going on?
Yeah,
Probably
man.
quite quiet.
This is, we got a big week going into February the 1st. So with us being out there, the Rippaverse will have a presence the entire MegaCon
Sweet.
with our booth. So you can go get some books. We'll be selling all sorts of items, but of course you can come meet all of us internally, like that are part of the Rippaverse, as well as some of our friends. We got G&G, we got Nerdrotic, we got Critical Drink is gonna be there as well. And you never know who else might show up. So it'll be fun. It'll be a great time. Let's just say that. Of course, we have the big panel. You can come chat with us all. It's just going to be an overall just amazing time. So get ready for that. And other than that, though, that's what we're working towards. Obviously, we got Yaira on the way, and we're working towards that, as well as some other stuff that we got that we're NDA'd on. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Damn right.
It's such a
It's
good poker
damn
game.
true.
Yeah, it is.
Too good. That's just the problem. Too good. Thank you everyone for watching. Tomorrow I'm gonna hit the gym after this, and then maybe I'll do a little stream when I come back.
More power, please.
Maybe some Power World when I come back. We'll go into my birthday because I got stuff to do tomorrow. So
Happy almost birthday.
Happy almost 2 hours time. 2 hours away.
Oh, happy almost birthday.
Yeah, I'll probably be sweating in the gym by the time it turns over.
Hey, that's a
But,
great way
yeah.
to spend it.
It is right. And then Friday we got FNT. Razor Fist will be the guest on FNT. I have a feeling Saturday I might just spend all day playing Power World, quite possibly. Sunday afternoon tea with ours. We got Super Chat square up from yesterday's Real BBC. And then we also have Sunday Fun Day, which just need to bash their heads together and see what we're going to play for that. Could be Power World, but it might be something else. You never know. Am I going to do Power World tonight, chat, or am I going to do what's the new one that just came out today? Which I did the stream of a little while. Fuck it. The other Enshrouded came out today. Do I try? I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we go along. Yeah. What we're gonna anyway, whatever. I don't know. Don't look at me. I ain't got a fucking clue what's going on. So massive thank you to everyone who came to watch today. Mods, thank you so much indeed for giving up your free time. Everybody who super chatted, membered, remembered, gifted memberships. Thank you for supporting the channel, and we will be back next week. Ripping a Silverback over on Eric's channel. Until then, you take care. Goodbye, Baloo Boo.